38 convenient locations to serve
This
you.
broadcast is authorized under broadcast rights granted by the Georgia Tech Athletic Association solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. And any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the description and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Georgia Tech Athletic Association and WCNN Radio is prohibited. The announcers of this event are employed by WCNN Radio and the Georgia Tech Athletic Association. Kim, a lot of fans wondering what coaches tell a ball club, say, about 10 minutes before kickoff team. How about Coach Dodd? What does he tell you all 10 minutes before kickoff time?
Well, Al, most of the pregame talks were not emotional talks. Coach Dodd didn't coach that way, and nor does Bobby Ross. What they basically try to do is remind you to stay focused, to put the crowd out of your mind. Particularly when you play on the road, you have to be disciplined to try to shut the noise and the crowd out of the ball game. You can't be worried about that. And to concentrate on making the right plays and making no mistakes and keeping yourselves free from penalties. Just things that you try to get your team to focus on to execute. And the theory is if you execute and you play hard and well, you'll have a chance to do well in the football game.
Kim, with Tech's great pass defense, and it's been a good one, with that four deep of Clay, Balcom, Swilling, and Keith Holmes, and of course the pressure coming from Coleman and Jarrell Williams and Marlon Williams. I was going to ask you about, you think George Welsh's ball club will come out throwing the football? Now they've been solid with that 311 yards on the ground.
Well, I think what they're going to do is try to mix things up against Tech. They've got such tremendous rushers in Nicky Fisher and, of course, their great tailback Terry Kirby. Kirby, incidentally, averages 6.6 yards per carry, leads the conference in rushing per game. Fisher averages only 8.9 yards. When you have great players like that going along with a big, solid offensive line and great receivers and Moore and Dooley, then I think they're just going to try to mix the play up and then lull Tech to sleep and try to hit the big bomb.
And both coaches, I would say, very conservative, a la Bobby Dodd. And I don't think we'll see too many gadget plays and things like that out here this afternoon.
Probably not. Probably, as you say, both of them are aware that they have big play potential, and rather than make some gambling plays, probably are going to just play it fairly straight up and punt the ball when they need to punt it. I don't look for any real gadgets. I do think Tech, as they did last week, will possibly gamble on fourth down some, because offensively, if they're running the ball well against this Virginia defense, then I think Bobby Ross is going to open up full throttles, and every time he gets down in scoring territory, he's not going to settle for the field goal.
I was going to say, Kim, this is a tight ball game, and one of the keys would be mistakes. Tech got beat by North Carolina with 4 mistakes, intercepted passes and fumbles, and as a result, North Carolina scored all 13 points on mistakes. How do you keep a ball club from making mistakes in a big game?
Well, there again, you really can't. There's no way to coach that other than, again, to try to get your players to concentrate on making the play, and that's where the discipline and maturity and poise comes into it. That's why experience is always great for a football team, because experienced players have been there before and they know how to handle pressure.
How about the kicking game, Kim? Virginia has a great field goal kicker, but not too much distance, around 44 yards. Scott Sisson the same way. His field goal distance around 44 yards. Both teams have punters who, of course, Virginia hasn't had to kick the ball too much, but Scott Aldridge has been up and down this year.
Well, that could be a huge factor in the ball game today. Ed Garno leads the conference in punting with a 44-yard per kick average, and Aldridge has been not real consistent of late. Scott's done a good job in most games, and every now and then, of course, he's had the errant kick, but that could be a big factor in a game like this. McInerney, their field goal kicker, extremely accurate. I think he's 11 of 13 out of field goal attempts. Doesn't have a lot of leg distance, but down inside the 30, he's very, very accurate, and they won't hesitate to have him kick a field goal anytime when they get down in a fourth down situation.
Kim, how about Virginia? They've got graduate students starting in this ball game. Shaw Moore, Trevor Riles, the center, Mark Cook, the tight end, Ron Terry, the nose guard, Big Joe Hall, and Tony Covington. It's very strange that you'll run into a ball club that has 5 starters actually working on their master's degree.
Well, I think it says a lot about the quality of education here at the University of Virginia. Outstanding school academically, and they're able to, George Welsh now has been able to redshirt a lot of players and has not been forced to play a lot of young football players, and I think that really shows that he's got a veteran program with a lot of redshirt guys, and he doesn't have to play young ones.
All right, once again, you're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network.
I'm Billy Look.
Kim King, we're about set to have the tossing of the coin. The captains for Virginia, Ron Carey, Joe Hall, and the All-American Sean Moore. For Georgia Tech, Daryl Jenkins, Joe Sifrey, Jeremiah McClary, Thomas Balkin. Here comes both teams on the field at the same time. From the Tech dressing room, Bobby Ross leading his Jackets out, and from the dressing room, right adjacent to the Tech dressing room, comes the Virginia Cavaliers. Kim, they'll have the tossing the coin with C.C. Daly. If Tech wins the toss, what's your call?
Well, my call, of course, I don't want to second-guess anybody. I think I'd go ahead and take the ball because you don't want to give the #1 offensive team in the country a chance to do what they do best. I think for Tech, they need to get the ball and try to get out front. That could be a real twist for this football game if Georgia Tech can get some points early on, Al, and not have to try to play catch-up football with Virginia. You're not going to beat this Virginia team in a shootout. They have too many weapons. They have too many players that can put the ball in the end zone and run up points. So for Tech, I think if they win the toss, I'd look for them to take the kick.
They haven't made many mistakes either this year, Kim.
No, not at all, and that's going to be another factor in the ball game. In a big contest like this, obviously the team that makes the fewest mistakes usually is a team that's going to win, and there's a lot of pressure on both these teams to play well and to play error-free football.
Kim, close games are won in the trenches. How about Tech's offensive line this year? We haven't had a chance to comment about them too much.
Well, I think it's been the real quality part of the program for the last couple of years. They've got a huge offensive line, which is the way Bobby Ross likes to field his teams. Jenkins, Lavin, Chubbs, and Miller at guard, center, I should say, Sifrey at guard, Mike Mooney, and just tremendous players size-wise, and all of them are big and physical and a lot of good depth.
Well, Virginia won the toss, Kim. They want to defer, I guess.
Well, I think that's good for Tech because, again, I'd rather go ahead and try to get something established offensively if I were Georgia Tech here.
All right, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network. All right, Al Serralda along with Kim King and John Talbert back at Scott Stadium. An overtaxed capacity crowd of better than 46,800. A warm afternoon, 82 degrees. The wind a small factor, 6 to 7 miles an hour out of the south. And Kim, your Georgia Tech band is here.
Got the band up across the way, and Al, a good section of Tech rooters. Incidentally, there would have been a lot more. Kevin Bryant at Georgia Tech told me that this was the hardest ticket he's had to deal with since he's been there. Tech had literally thousands upon thousands of ticket demands they couldn't fill because early in the season they sent back some tickets to Virginia. Some scores early on. Navy, this is a shocker, 17, Notre Dame 7. That one in the third quarter. Halftime score, it's Clemson 17. North Carolina 3 again. Navy 17, Notre Dame 7 in the third quarter. Halftime, FSU leads South Carolina 20-3. Also halftime, it's Cincinnati 24, Louisville 10. That's a big surprise. Indiana leads Michigan State 13-10 in the second quarter. Tennessee on top of Temple 14-3 in the second. Purdue leads Michigan 6-3 in the first quarter. First quarter score, it's Penn State 7, West Virginia 3. Also first quarter, Texas Tech 7. Texas nothing.
The Navy game, Kim, a shocker because, well, what they'd like to do is Virginia meet Notre Dame for the national championship.
Well, that game's not over, and Notre Dame's got a lot of horsepower. But right now, the excitement and tension and all eyes are on this game as we're almost ready for kickoff. Tech wearing the white jerseys, gold pants, will be receiving, and Virginia orange jerseys, white pants, kicking off.
All right, Virginia will kick off to Georgia Tech. Michael Usted will kick off from the 35-yard line. A ball on a tee. The referee toots the whistle. C.C. Daly forward as Usted. Toe meets leather, and it's a high kick that Tisdale will take about 2 yards in the end zone. He's going to run it out at the 5. Tisdale at the 10. He's at the 15. He's at the 20, and down he goes around the 19 before he could hit the 20-yard line. He was hit by Alvin Sneed. Tisdale ran it out of the end zone about 2 yards deep, came out. The official will mark the football about the 19-yard line. Kim?
Well, it was a high kick, and Tisdale did have to go deep, a couple of yards deep in the end zone to take it. Did a nice job of getting it back out to the 20-yard line, or close to it. The ball is closer to the 19 than the 20.
All right, the Jackets break the huddle up over that football's Burrow Miller. Tech with a lone setback behind quarterback Sean. In motion is Merchant to the right. Here's the pitch. It's time to Bell. Bell turning at the 20. Bell at the 25, and down he goes. So Bell went about 6 yards. He was hit by the safety man, Keith McMeans, who came up fast. So they pitch out to Bell, and that toss sweep to the 25, giving him 6 yards. 2nd and 4 to go, Jackets.
Good blocking on the corner that time on the tall sweep, and that gave Bell a chance to turn the corner and head upfield, and a nice gain on the first play of the ball game.
Tech with 3 wide receivers, Merchant, Rodriguez, Lester. Tech in the I formation. Sean Moore sets his charges, checks the forefront. Here's Moore this time, back to pass, looking, throwing. It is complete to Rodriguez around the 35-yard line. And the official says he was hit around the 36 and moved back. He was hit by James Wallace, the left cornerback. First down for the Jackets.
Nice rifle throw that time, and Rodriguez flanked wide to the left. Lester in the slot. Rodriguez just went down and did a curl pattern on a 3-deep zone, found the seam, and Jones rifled the ball to him.
Jones on target to Bobby Rodriguez. Tech in the I, 1st and 10. Tech shifts now to 3 wide receivers to the right. Trips to the right. Scotton behind Sean Jones. A hand off to Scotton. Scotton buck gets to the 37, 38, and down he goes. Stephen Scotton on a delay off the left side, stopped by John Hall, and Goodwin the right end. So there was a delay to Scotton. Give Scotton about a yard to the 37, 2nd and 9 to go. The Jackets break the huddle again. 3 wide receivers for Georgia Tech. Rodriguez, Lester, and Merchant. The I set up by Sean Jones. Jones checks the forefront. Long count by Sean. Sean checking out. Here's Jones on the option keeper. Tackle at the 38. A yard gain on the option keeper to the right. Hit by Slade, and we've got a marker on the play.
Well, I think there might be a... Well, I'm not going to call it here. I didn't see it clearly. Flag is thrown. It's going to be a holding call against Tech. Flag is thrown back at the 40-yard line. Jones tried the option keeper off the right side and only got a yard. Virginia had it played real well. Virginia now possibly will take the penalty, 10-yard penalty that will move the ball back, or they could decline it because it'll make it 3rd and long. We'll see what they're going to do. So the official now they mark it off 10 yards. That'll bring the ball all the way back to the 26-yard line of Tech.
So the ball back at the 26-yard line. Make it 2nd down and about, let's call it 20 to go. 2nd and 20 for the Jackets at the Tech 26-yard line. 13-14 on the clock. Clock ticking here in the first period. Nothing ball game. Ball closer to the 27-yard line. So make it 2nd and 19.
Tech's late getting a player on the field. On the time clock's going to get down. They're going to have to pull this ball quick.
All right, the Jackets with split backs behind Sean Jones. Jones on the bark. Here's Jones back to pass. Here's a draw play to Bell. Bell at the 30. Bell at the 34, and down he goes. There's a draw play to Bell, hit by Lewis, the strong safety man, around the 35-yard line for a pickup of about 8 yards. So that'll bring up a 3rd down and about 11 play from the Georgia Tech 35.
Good call that time. Tech had Virginia's defense spread a little bit, and Bell just went right up the middle on the draw. Good call.
Jerry Gilchrist checks in. Lester checks out. Gilchrist wide to the right. They split the left end. Tech has split backs behind quarterback Sean Jones. Jones checks at 5 front. Jones back to pass. Looking. Pumps. Running to the left. Pass is complete to Bell, and Bell is forced out of bounds around the 37-yard line. Yusef Jackson forced him out at the 37. So Tech now will be forced to kick the football. The line of scrimmage will be the Georgia Tech 37 on a 4th down, 9 play.
Now the screen was a little late getting developed. Bell had trouble getting out in the area where Jones wanted to get the ball to him, and because of that, the linebacker Yusef Jackson was able to go with the flow and make the hit right after he caught it.
All right, we had an official timeout. Scott Aldridge is in deep punt formation. Jason Wallace, single safety. Virginia shows the return on. 12:08 on the clock here in the first period. Tech nothing, Virginia nothing. Discussion going on with the officials.
Well, that drive for Tech started at the 19-yard line. Really not a drive, but Tech had the ball for what's turned out to be 6 plays. This will be the 7th play, the opening possession of the ball game. Bell got 6 on the first play of the game to the 25, and Rodriguez caught an 11-yard pass from Jones to the 36. But after Scotton got 1 and Jones only got 1 on an option keeper, Tech was penalized 10 yards back to the 27 for holding. Bell on the draw play ran it for 8 yards to the 35, and then on the screen pass to the short side, Virginia played it well. Bell was only able to pick up 2 to the 37, where Aldridge now is ready to kick it out.
All right, Parker will snap the football. Scott Aldridge in deep punt formation. Scott will kick from the 25. Virginia has the return on. High pass from center. Aldridge gets his foot in the football. A Skyliner. Fair catch is called for by Wallace. It hits a man, and then Virginia recovers. It hit a 31-yard kick. That time, the ball hit a Virginia man and bounded into the Virginia man, who recovered on the deflection.
Well, I think the Virginia bench wanted a flag. They thought that Tech did not give him a chance to fill the ball, but nevertheless, it bounded into a Virginia man's hand, where play stopped here.
All right, there's a timeout on the playing field with the score on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Tech nothing, Virginia nothing. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network. I know.
Play has been stopped on the field where Tech's first possession. Aldridge kicks to Virginia, who have the ball at their own 32-yard line, where they'll put it in play momentarily. We want to correct a wrong score we gave earlier. It was corrected in the press box. We were handed a score here and said that Notre Dame was losing to Navy, and that's not the case. Notre Dame on top of Navy is Notre Dame 24, Navy 10, that one in the third period.
Tech's having trouble with their phones here, Kim, and if they don't work, then both teams will have to forget about the phones from the coaches here in the press box.
Well, look, the coaches here are in the box next to us, and we can hear them yelling frantically that they've lost communication with the sideline. And you're right. If Tech's communication is not effective for the sideline, then Virginia would have to give up their headsets as well.
11:58 on the clock here, as time is still out on the playing field. They have the artificial surface here at Scott Stadium. All right, Virginia huddles. For Virginia in that backfield, Sean Moore, Dave Sweeney, Terry Kirby. Defensively for Tech, Williams, McClary, Battle, Rudolph, Jarrell Williams, Calvin Teagle, Clay, Balcom, Ken Swelling. The eye set up by Sean Moore. In motion goes Herman Moore. The handoff to Terry Kirby. Kirby bucks, and Kirby stopped around the 36, 37-yard line. Give him about 4 yards. Interior linebackers Teagle and Williams combining on the tackle for Georgia Tech around the 36-yard line, giving 4 yards. Second down and 4 to go.
We talked about Kirby averaging 6.6 yards a carry. That time tried the tailback isolation off the right side, picked up 4 yards.
Tomlin wide left. Herman Moore split to the right. Tech in a 4 front. Now Tech goes to the 5. Eye set up by Sean Moore. Moore on the bark. Long count checking off is Sean Moore. Moore gives off to Kirby again. Kirby off tackle. Fights his way to about the 39, 40-yard line. Jeremiah McClary refused to let him go by. So Terry Kirby on 2 carries, starting from the 32, gets up to about the 39-yard line. Let's make it 3rd down and 3 to go for the Cavaliers.
Now, this is where Sean Moore, the Virginia quarterback, is so dangerous. When you've got 3rd and short, you're looking for a run possibly, but he throws the ball with as much confidence as he does running it in short yardage situations.
All right, Virginia with one lone setback behind quarterback Sean Moore, who is Nicky Fisher. 3rd down play coming up. In motion goes Kirby to the right. Back to pass is Sean Moore throwing. It is complete to the 45 of Virginia, to the 50, and down a man goes Kirby, running out of the backfield at the 47, knocked down by Marlon Williams and Simmons. So they're going to put the pressure on the Tech linebackers, Kim, as Kirby, running out of the backfield, caught the pass from Sean Moore down to the Georgia Tech 47-yard line. 1st and 10, Virginia.
Well, that's a safe throw for him, and he waited until he cleared out the zone. Tech dropped back looking for the pass, and then Kirby from his right came in underneath everybody, was wide open, did a nice job of running after he caught it.
All right, the ball on the hash mark at the Tech 47. 1st and 10, Virginia. Sean Moore rolls right to pass. Pressure, then gets away from one tackler. He's at the 45, throwing a long one. It is complete to Moore, and Moore's knocked down by Ken Swilling. Pass complete. Keith Holmes, Kim, had Sean Moore around the shoulders, but could not knock him down. And then the pass to Herman Moore, and then Swilling knocked Herman Moore down at the Georgia Tech 11-yard line.
Great play by Sean Moore, Al. Should have gone down on the sack. They had the blitz coming in that time, and Holmes had him up high. Moore just threw him off and rolled out of trouble to his left and saw Moore being covered by Swilling, underthrew the ball, and Moore made the correction, came back and made a big catch.
All right, Virginia at the Georgia Tech 11-yard line. 0-0 ball game. The I set up. Kirby the tail of the I. In motion goes Wilson to the right. Here's a handoff this time to Kirby. Kirby bucks down to the 6-yard line. Goes Terry Kirby on about 6 yards. Hit by Teagle and Jeremiah McClary. As Virginia moving the football, starting the drive from the Virginia 32. They're at the Georgia Tech 6-yard line. 2nd down and 5 to go. Out of the lineup for Georgia Tech goes Keith Holmes. Checking in for the Jackets is Chris Simmons. And also Curly Day. Virginia in the I at the Georgia Tech 6. 2nd down and 5. In motion is Herman Moore. Here's a handoff this time to Kirby. Kirby bucks to the 2-yard line. Kirby down to the 2-yard line, hit by Calvin Teagle, and Virginia's line is controlling the Georgia Tech front 4.
They're opening some holes. Kirby got 5 on 1st down, and then he ran the ball off the left side. The hole was there. He's finally knocked down just shy of the 1-yard line. They're going to look and bring the chains in to see whether or not he got the first.
So it'll either be a 1st and goal for Virginia or 3rd down and about a half yard to go. They bring the chain gang in and they stretch it out. So Virginia's moving the ball. The long pass to Herman Moore after Keith Holmes had Sean Moore around the shoulders and could not knock him down. And then Moore elated. 1st down, Virginia, 1st and goal. Let's call it the 2-yard line. 1st and 10, Virginia at the Georgia Tech 2. 0-0 ball game. 9:01 on the clock. Tech sends in their goal line defense.
And Al, this is what Virginia's done all year. They have moved the ball, huge yardage, in very short time period. They've only been on this drive about 2 minutes, and they've gone almost 68 yards.
Virginia with the wishbone offense. 1.5 yards from the end zone. Moore on the bark for Virginia. He hands off his time to his halfback who bucks and is stopped shy of the goal line. Nicky Fisher was stopped shy of the goal line, so make it 2nd and goal. The tackler, Marco Coleman for Georgia Tech. So it's about a foot away, 2nd and about a foot to go for the touchdown for Virginia at the Tech. I'd say about a foot away from the end zone. Virginia huddles a ball and a hash mark on the near sideline. Clock ticks, 8:23 in the 1st period. Tech nothing, Virginia nothing. Virginia breaks the huddle. Up over that football is Riles. Virginia in the wishbone offense. Sean Moore's quarterback sneak. Touchdown, Virginia. Quarterback sneak with Sean Moore. And Virginia in a hurry. Breaks on top with 8:09 remaining in the 1st period. Virginia 6, Georgia Tech nothing.
And again, Al, they only used about 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go 68 yards. Moore on the 8th play of the drive going over on the quarterback sneak. So Virginia here has jumped on top of Tech 6-0.
All right, trying for point number 7 is Jake McInerney, who has 78 straight extra points without missing. Both lines set. Holding will be Reilberger. Snap, touch, kicks by McInerney. It's high enough. It is good. Virginia 7, Georgia Tech nothing. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network.
Virginia had gotten a 1st down, their first of the game, when they hit Moore hit Kirby out of the backfield with a 14-yard pass to the Tech 47-yard line on 1st down. Tech had the corner blitz. Keith Holmes came in undetected, hit Sean Moore from the backside, but Moore just threw him off like water off a duck, rolled out of trouble to his left, saw Herman Moore's receiver downfield at about the 20-yard line, hefted a pass downfield. It was short. Moore came back on Ken Swilling in coverage, caught it. Swilling tackled him, but not before he got to the Tech 11-yard line, a 36-yard gain, and then Kirby got 6 to the 5. Kirby got 4 more to the 1 to give Virginia their 3rd 1st down on the drive. And then after Fisher was stopped for no gain at the 1, Moore snuck over from 1 yard out. And again, it's Virginia 7, Tech nothing here, 8:09 1st period.
There's still timeout on the playing field. With the score on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard, Virginia, the #1 team in the nation, 7. Georgia Tech nothing. That powerful offense, as Kim mentioned, went 68 yards on a sustained drive. The big play, the long pass to Herman Moore. who has been a tremendous receiver for Sean Moore during the season. A big boy, Kim, 6'5", and he was an outstanding high jumper in the ACC on the track.
Well, he simply was. Swillen had man coverage. Tech again had the corner blitz, and they went into man coverage, and Swillen had Herman Moore deep and had good coverage. But when you go man, you look at the receiver, and Swilling's eyes were on the receiver. And Moore, on the other hand, the receiver was looking back to his quarterback, Sean Moore, and he made the adjustment to come back for the underthrown pass, made a fine catch, and Swillen tackled him down at the 11-yard line.
Deep for Georgia Tech goes Kevin Tisdale. To his left is Jeff Wright. To his right is Angelo Rush. Kicking off will be Michael Houston. For the referee, C.C. Daly set the toot to whistle. There's the toot to the whistle. Houston forward. Toe meets leather, and it's a high kick that Tisdale will go back in the end zone and down it. Tisdale was going to run it out, but he was about 8 yards in that end zone, so he elected to down the football. 1st and 10, Virginia by the 1st and 10, Georgia Tech at the Tech 20-yard line.
This kid McInerney, Al, is really a tremendous kicker and field goal kicker. That time kicked the ball deep in the end zone, and Tisdale didn't have a chance to run it out.
All right, the Jackets take over the ball midway between the sidelines at the Tech 20-yard line. Covington and Rice double tight end for the Jackets. Lone setback, William Bell. Tech flanker left. They split the right end. Sean Jones on the bark. Virginia in a 5. Here's Jones this time giving off to Bell. Bell at the 20. Bell at the 25. Bell at the 26, and down he goes. 6 yards goes William Bell, the sophomore out of Miami, Florida, hit by Yusef Jackson, the interior linebacker.
Good blocking that time on the offside counter play. Mike Mooney, Joe Sifry pulling from the right side of the line to the left to lead Bell up in the hole, and had a good one, got up about 5 yards.
All right, the Jackets at the Tech. Let's call it the 26. The I set up with Bell the tail of the I. Stephen Scott in your up back. Wide right is Greg Lester. In motion is Goolsby. Here's the handoff to Bell again. Bell going to the far side of the field is tackled for a loss. For a loss of about 2 yards. Big Slade, the defensive end, coming through, diagnosing the handoff, refused to let Bell turn the corner. The loss back at around, let's call it the 25-yard line, a loss of a yard, make it 3rd down and 5 to go.
Same play, the counter play, but Virginia played it well. Had a little slant on the defensive front. Tech didn't block them. Slade made a nice play.
Goolsby split to the left. Gilchrist wide to the right. The I set up by Sean Jones. 5 front. Here's Jones this time. Back to pass. Has protection. Starts and throws the ball. Let's see, was it a fumble or not?
Incomplete.
Incomplete forward pass. Jones was hit by Slade, their great left end, as he was ready to throw the ball. His arm went forward. Incomplete forward pass. So the Jackets with Scott Aldridge will be forced to punt the football. Virginia in safety.
Now Virginia had good coverage downfield, and Jones was trying to go deep to Goolsby, who was running a post pattern deep, but just couldn't get the ball off.
Scott Aldridge in deep punt formation. Jason Wallace has the return on single safety at the Virginia 38. Parker will snap. Good pass from center. Aldridge gets his foot in the football. A wobbly kick that Wallace takes on the 46. He is back to about the 48, and down he goes, and we got, what, a marker on the play? Fumble after the whistle.
Well, I think official just threw the marker up the field. So Virginia, low kick by Aldridge, not a long one either. Virginia's got excellent field position up around the 49-yard line.
29-yard punt for Scott Aldridge, and Virginia with good field position. 1st and 10 to go at the Virginia 45-yard line. Once again, with a score on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard, Virginia 7, Georgia Tech nothing. 6:41 on the clock in the first period. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network.
Recently,
play is stopped here at 6:41 in the first period. Virginia on top of Tech, 7-0 after Virginia went 68 yards in 8 plays. Tech took the kickoff. Tisdale deep in the end zone, elected not to run it out. Bell got 5 yards on first down to the 25. Bell tried a counter play for no gain. Back to the line of scrimmage, and then Sean Jones back in the pocket. Virginia had excellent coverage downfield. Protection broke down, was hit as he was trying to throw the ball. Incomplete pass ruled the official. Mike Mooney actually came up with the ball, but the official ruled he was in motion. Incomplete. Aldridge has kicked a 29-yard punt. Virginia's got the ball. Excellent field position. 49-yard line. Again, 6:41 to go here in the first.
Virginia breaks the huddle at the 49-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Wahoos. Ball midway between the sideline. Tech shows Virginia that 5 front. I was Sean Moore. Here's Moore this time, rolling to the right, giving out to halfback, running is Kirby. Kirby down to the Georgia Tech 30 to the 28, and down he goes. Sean Moore pitching out to Kirby. And Kirby running downfield before he's knocked down by Tech strong safety man, Thomas Balcom. So Virginia with a first down at the Georgia Tech 28 yards. A brilliant run by Kirby, that time of 23 yards.
Al, perfect execution by Moore. Looked like Tech was going to have a chance to make the play, but they got a block by their fullback that time, Dave Sweeney. And Kirby, once he took the pitch, turned upfield. Good blocking by Virginia.
Virginia in the eye. They split the left end. Twins to the left. They split the right end. Here's the handoff this time to the big fullback who bucks goes Steele. And Steele goes upfield to the 25-yard line where he's knocked down by Marlon Williams, the freshman from Georgia Tech from the southwest DeKalb area. So the official marks the football inside the 25. Let's call it the 24. 2nd and 6, Virginia. Again threatening at the Georgia Tech 24. Clock ticks at 5:50 remaining here in the first period. Ball on a hash mark on the far side of the field. Virginia sets up in an I formation. Sean Moore on the count. They split the left end and the right end, and we have a slot to the left this time. Taking a 5 front. Here's Sean Moore this time. Back to pass. Throwing. It is complete. And the man gets away from one tackler, is knocked out of bounds to Herman Moore. He got away first from Ken Swilling, and then Teagle knocked him down. So that combination, Moore to Moore, first down Virginia. And the official marks the football at the Georgia Tech 11-yard line.
Now they had 2 deep zone coverage that time. Swilling had the short zone on the side. Moore was a receiver, and Sean Moore, the quarterback, thought that there was a lot of room between Swilling and Herman Moore. Dumped the ball over to him. Swilling missed the tackle. He's finally knocked down at the 11.
The ball at the 11-yard line of Georgia Tech. The eye set up by Sean Moore. In motion goes Herman Moore. Here's the pitch this time to Fisher. Fisher is tackled, gets away from 2 tacklers, and down he goes. Ken Swilling made a fine tackle after he'd shaken off 2 tacklers. And the official will mark the football at about the 12-yard line. He lost a yard. Tech had him trapped for about a 4-yard loss. Jarrell Williams and Nicky Fisher got away.
Again, give credit to Fisher for hard running, but also not good tackling by Tech's defense. Had a chance for a big loss on first down, but Fisher ran through a couple of Tech tacklers and struggled back to the 12 where he lost 1.
Derek Dooley comes in with a play from Coach George Wells, replacing Tomlin. Ball on a hash mark at the Georgia Tech 12-yard line. 2nd and 11 to go. Virginia in the pro set. Back is the handoff this time to Nicky Fisher again, and he stopped and piled up around the 9-yard line by McClary and Balcom. McClary and Balcom on the tackle for Georgia Tech. He moves it back at the 10, give him 2 yards, so make it 3rd and 9 to go. Virginia at the Georgia Tech 10-yard line as the Tech defense begins to stiffen.
Big play here for Tech, Al, because a touchdown with the points Virginia's already got puts them up 2 touchdowns. Really puts a lot of pressure on Tech. They need to stop Virginia's potent offense here.
Tech has a nickel package in. Wide to the right goes Tomlin. Lone set back behind Sean Moore. Back to pass. Looking. Throwing. It is almost intercepted that time. Teagle had the ball in his hands but could not contain the interception. Johnny Wilson, the intended receiver. So the field goal unit checks in for Virginia. So Jake McInerney will try a field goal from about 27 yards out. So McInerney will try a 27-yard field goal with a score. Virginia 7, Tech nothing. Both lines set. Snap, touch, kick by McInerney. It's high enough. It is good. Virginia leads Georgia Tech 10-0. With the clock showing 3:58 remaining here in the first period. So it's Virginia 10, Georgia Tech nothing here in the first period on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard, with the clock showing 3:58 remaining here in the first period. So now Virginia will kick off to Georgia Tech, and Tech has their work cut out for him, Kim.
Well, Al, that was a 7-play drive. Started after a short punt from Scott Aldridge, 29 yards. Virginia took over at their 49-yard line. On first down, they ran the quarterback option play, faking inside to their fullback. Sean Moore pitched to Terry Kirby, who turned the corner, got a good block, went 23 yards down to the Tech 28. Still got 3 up the middle to the 25. Moore caught a 14-yard pass on the right sideline, danced down to the 11-yard line before he was knocked out of bounds. Fisher lost one on a toss sweep to the left side back to the 12. Fisher got 2 back to the 10-yard line on a counter play, and then Moore threw incomplete that Calvin Teagle had his hands on for a possible interception. Couldn't hold on to it, though. And McInerney kicked true on a 27-yard field goal. 3:58 to go in the first period. Virginia 10, Tech nothing.
Kicking off. There's a 2 to the whistle. Houston forward. Toe meets leather and a high kick that will chase Tisdale deep into the end zone. And he's going to run it out. He's at the 5. Tisdale at the 10. He's at the 15. He's at the 20. Tisdale knocked off his pins at the 22. Kim, he ran it out about 9 yards deep in the end zone.
Al, you don't see that often, and what they want is a big play, and he has tremendous confidence. He feels like he can break it. He almost broke it that time. Took it way deep in the end zone, got a good block out of that wedge, and then looked like he might turn right on the sideline, but somebody came in from Virginia and knocked him down at the 22.
Tech trails 10-0. Tech at the Tech 22, first and 10 to go. 3:52 on the clock in the first period. The tail of the eye, William Bell. Covington, the tight end on the right side. They split the left end. In motion goes Merchant to the left. Sean Jones this time. Giving off to Bell, and Bell is tripped up for a loss. Or no gain around the 22 by Slade, who has so far had a tremendous afternoon here in the first period, the defensive left end.
No hole there. Bell was trying to turn it from left tackle to the outside, and his feet got tripped up before he could make that move. So Slade came in. Give him credit for jamming things up inside. And as you pointed out, Al, Tech's not having a good day blocking him so far.
2nd and 11 to go. Tech at the Tech 21. Lone setback behind quarterback Sean Jones. Jones on the bark looking at that 5 front. Here's Jones this time faking. Rolling right to pass. Protection. Throwing. It is incomplete. Intended for McKendry, and good coverage by Virginia's defense, Kim.
Almost came up with the interception. Jones on the bootleg came to the right, pulled up, was forced inside, and then pumped once as if he wanted to throw the ball. Saw McKendry open momentarily, but Virginia moved on it. Almost came up with the interception.
3rd down and 11. Tech on a possession play at the Tech 21. The Jackets break the huddle. Merchant wide to the left. Rodriguez wide to the right. Tech with split backs. Scott and Bell behind Sean Jones. Virginia in a 5 front. Sean Jones back to pass. Looking, throwing, and it is complete to Covington, and he dropped the football. Covington had the football and dropped it at the 27.
Good coverage by Virginia. Al, Tech's not getting open. Virginia's doing a tremendous job defensively of taking away the passing lanes on Tech. Jones had to hold the ball longer than he wanted to. Got nervous feet in the pocket. When he did deliver the ball, Covington was in traffic, and had he caught it, would have been well short of the first down. Tech looks a little unsure of themselves offensively here early in the game.
Scott Aldridge in deep punt formation for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Tech trails 10-0. Virginia has the return on a single safety, Jason Wallace. Parker will snap the football for Georgia Tech. Good pass from center. Parker gets his foot in the football and hangs one up there, a long one. That fair catch is called for by Walker, and we got a marker on the play.
Now they're going to throw the flag on Tech because he couldn't catch the ball. You got to give 2 yards. There was a man blocking on a Tech man coming down trying to cover, but the official threw the flag nevertheless. But now they're having a conference. I'm not sure they're going to call this.
That was a late call on the fair catch, Kim.
Well, Al, a Tech man was down covering Angelo Rush, and he was blocked in to the kick or the punt man. And I think the officials are going to talk about that, and that's why they're late now on this call. Let's see. They're going to call, no, they're going to call the penalty against Tech. So Tech interfered with the punt reception. And now the official's going to come back and call it again against Tech.
37-yard kick for Scott Aldridge. So the penalty moves the football to the 47-yard line of Virginia. Virginia again with good field position. 1st and 10 for the Cavaliers at Virginia's 47-yard line. The ball midway between the sidelines. Virginia 10, Tech nothing. 2:53 on the clock in the first period. Virginia in the I formation. The tail of the I is Nicky Fisher. Sean Moore on the bark. In motion goes Dooley to the right. Moore rolls right to pass. Looking. He's going to throw long downfield. And it is incomplete. Incomplete pass intended for Moore, who that time fell down around the 12-yard line.
Well, there's a flag on Virginia. They got a holding call back upfield. The ball was thrown deep to Herman Moore, flanked wide to the right. Tech had 2 people back, Swilling back in coverage. Feet got tangled up. Herman Moore went down. Virginia wanted a pass interference call. But the officials did not throw the flag. It was incomplete, but Virginia's going to be guilty of a holding call, which I think because of field position, even though it was incomplete, Tech's going to take the 10-yard mark off. Let's see what the Tech bench is going to do. It's 10. I think they're going to take the penalty here because, again, Virginia's got the ball at their 47, and the penalty would put the ball back to the 37-yard line. That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to give Virginia the down over and make it 1st and 20.
Virginia at the Virginia 37 on the holding penalty. 1st and 20 to go for the Cavaliers. The ball midway between the sidelines here in the first period. On the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard, Virginia 10, Georgia Tech nothing. The Wahoos break the huddle. Riles up over that football. Sean Moore sets his charges with Steele and Fisher the tail of the eye. Steele the up back. Moore on the bark, checking Tech's forefront. Checking off is Sean. Here's Moore rolling left on the option play. Gets away from one tackler, and down he goes. Around the 36-37-yard line, Marlon Williams and Marco Coleman really extended that play, and Sean Moore getting up slowly, but he's all right for Virginia. No gain at the 37, so it's 2nd down and 20 to go. The outside linebackers played the option well that time, Kim.
That was the key. They strung the play out, and Moore couldn't make a decision whether to pitch it or turn it inside. So excellent defense that time by Tech's outside people.
All right, Virginia at the Virginia 37, 2nd down and 20 to go. Sean Moore sets his charges. A lone setback behind Sean Moore. They have trips to the right this time. Moore back to pass. Quarterback draw. Moore gets up to the 46-yard line of Virginia for about 9 yards. He was hit by Calvin Teagle on a quarterback draw. Sean Moore on a quarterback draw picking up 9 yards, so it brings up a 3rd down and 11 play for Virginia.
Now they spread Tech's defense out with that trip set wide to the right, and Tech pulled Teagle out, a linebacker, and that spread Tech out and then ran the quarterback draw. Nice call by Sean Moore.
The ball at the Virginia 47. Tech sends in the nickel package. Lone setback behind Sean Moore in a passing situation. 3rd and 10, Virginia at the Virginia 47. Back to pass, Sean Moore. Looking, throwing up the middle. It is complete to the 40-yard line of Georgia Tech to Johnny Wilson. 1st down for Virginia at the Tech 40. Curly Day knocked him down after the reception.
Now, a great job of throwing the ball by Virginia. Wilson did a nice job of working open. Johnny Wilson working open from his left, came across the field. Underneath, Tech had pretty good coverage, but the ball was right on the money. 6th first down of the ball game for Virginia. They have it at the Tech 42.
All right, Virginia at the Georgia Tech 42. 1st and 10 to go with 1 minute and 9 seconds on the clock in the first period. Virginia 10, Georgia Tech nothing. The Virginia powerful offense operating with precision. Lone setback behind Sean Moore is Nicky Fisher. Here's the handoff to Fisher. Fisher up the middle, stacked up around the 41-yard line by Coleman Rudolph. Out of Valdosta, Georgia, the sophomore defensive tackle for Georgia Tech. So give him a tough yard as they unstack around the 41. 2nd and 9 to go. Virginia at the Tech 41. Make it the 40-yard line. The ball on a hash mark on the far side of the field. Clock ticks with 35 seconds on the clock here in the first period. Virginia breaks out up over that football as Riles. Virginia with a lone setback behind quarterback Sean Moore. They have trips to the left this time. They split the right end. Moore rolls left to pass. Throwing on the run. It is complete to the 35-yard line, and down the man goes, the big Herman Moore. That combination, Moore to Moore. Marlon Williams and Eric Fry knocks him down around the 35-yard line. So Virginia at the Tech 35-yard line make it 3rd down and about 3 to go. 3rd and 3. And there's the end of the first period with a score on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Virginia 10, Georgia Tech nothing. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network. All right, Al Sorrell along with Kim King, John Talbot back at Scott Stadium in Charlottesville. Kim, all Virginia in the first period.
It has been, Al, other than Tech's open possession when they had about 6 or 7 plays. They've been going 3 plays and bringing Aldridge in to kick. And the bad thing is Virginia has had excellent field position in that first quarter. They started at their 32 and they marched 68 yards and 8 plays for their first touchdown. Then they started at their 49-yard line, drove all the way down to the 10, kicked the McNerney field goal, make it 10-0. And then they started this drive at their 47-yard line after a holding penalty. Took them way back to the 37 and faced with a 3rd and long. Sean Moore converted, hit Johnny Wilson as receiver, flank wide to the left, worked across the middle of the field for 11 yards for a first down at the Tech 42. Fisher's gotten 2 to the 40 where he was stopped inside. And then Moore caught a 5-yard pass, a little hook, flanked wide to the left, turned it in real quickly. Sean Moore hit him quickly, and he was tackled, but the ball's down around the 35-yard line, just inside the 35-yard line, where it's third down and short.
All right, there's still time out on the field. Georgia Tech next Saturday afternoon back at Bobby Dodd Stadium. They'll take on Virginia Tech. Kickoff time at 1 o'clock. Virginia Tech, 1 o'clock, Bobby Dodd Stadium next Saturday afternoon.
And now, as advertised, Virginia's tremendous high-powered offensive team. Tech not able to get any real pressure on Sean Moore. The one time they did on the corner blitz when they brought Keith Holmes free, nobody picked him up, and he hit Moore running full speed, and Moore just shook him off and rolled out and then made that big pass, 36-yard pass down to the Tech 11 to Herman Moore's receiver. So Sean Moore showing why he's probably the top quarterback in the country right now.
He's a strong youngster, about 215 pounds, has a great right arm, Tim.
Well, he throws the ball so well, tremendous confidence, and on a quarterback draw, he took a tremendous hit that he ran a couple of plays ago. It looked like maybe he would be shaken up, but bounced right up off the turf. He is tough.
3rd and 2, Virginia at the Tech 34. Eye set up by Sean Moore. The tail of the eye is Nicky Fisher. Moore on a long count. In motion, Herman Moore. Here's Sean rolling right to pass. Looking, throwing. It is incomplete. So it'll be 4th down and 2 to go. Virginia at the Georgia Tech 34. Ken Swilling covering for Georgia Tech. The pass intended for Herman Moore.
And now look for Virginia to go for it here. Their defense has played Tech pretty tough. And George Welch might think that even if they don't convert on 4th down, they've got a chance to. Now they're going to check in the kick team.
Field goal unit checks in for Virginia. The line of scrimmage will be the 34. Probably be a 51-yard field goal. The longest McInerney has kicked this year for the Virginia Cavaliers is 45 yards. So let's see what he does here at the 41. Snap, touch, kicked by McInerney. It is high enough. It is good. A 51-yard field goal on the part of Jake McInerney. Virginia 13, Georgia Tech nothing on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Tim, Virginia kicking game, running game, passing game working.
Well, it looks like a clinic. Tech has not been able to stop Virginia, and when they have on these last 2 drives, McInerney kicked the ball on that 51-yard field goal just like he was kicking a 20-yard field goal. Very smooth and a lot of leg drive. And Virginia now has widened the lead 13-0. The opening seconds here in the second period. 14:50 left to go, in fact, in the second period. Virginia, every time they've touched the ball, has come down, Al, and scored points. They had it 3 times in the ball game. They've gotten a touchdown and 2 field goals.
Well, Virginia, as Mike Husted, will kick against the wind. Deep for Georgia Tech goes Kevin Tisdale. The 5'11", 173-pounder out of Columbus Carver High School, a sophomore, who Bobby Ross says will have a scholarship come January. Husted, a junior out of Hampton, Virginia. To Kevin Tisdale's right is Angelo Rush, and to his left is Jeff Wright. The referee, C.C. Daly, set the 2. There's the 2 to the whistle. Husted forward. Toe meets lead on a high kick that Tisdale will run out of from the 5-yard line. Tisdale back at the 10. He's at the 15. He's at the 20. He's at the 24, 25, and down he goes. Run back by Tisdale. He was hit by Gerard Washington on the kickoff team for Virginia. So the Jackets will open offensively at the 25, at their own 25. 1st and 10 to go. The ball on a hash mark on the far side of the field. Let's call it the 24-yard line. Closer to the 24. Jeff Wright, single setback behind quarterback Sean Jones. Tech with 3 wide receivers. Long count by Sean Jones, pitching out this time to Wright, right at the 25, right at the 30, right at the 35, and down he goes. The change move as Wright got the 1st down. That's the 2nd 1st down for the Jackets. On the pitch, the toss sweep to the right goes Jeff Wright, the freshman from Campbell High of Smyrna.
Well, he got up a big head of steam that time and turned the corner. Good blocking. Tech has got the ball out. Good field position at 36.
1st and 10 Jackets at the Tech 36. Jeff Wright, single setback behind quarterback Sean Jones. Virginia shows him at 5 front. Long count. Checking off of Sean Jones. Rolling to the left on the option. Sean turns it upfield. He's at the 40 and down. He goes around the 41-yard line for about 5 yards. He was hit by Miles, the defensive right tackle. So Sean Jones on the keeper goes 5 yards. 2nd and 5. Tech at the Tech 41. Tech wants that ground game to get going, Tim, so they can open up the passing game. The Jackets break the huddle. Split backs behind Sean Jones. Lawson and Wright ready to carry the mail. Flanker right. They split the left end. In motion is Goolsby to the left. Here's Sean Jones this time giving off to Lawson. Lawson bucks to the 46, 47-yard line. Very close to a first down. Pete Lawson out of Brooklyn, New York. Knocked down by the safety man, McMeans. First down as they move the chains for Georgia Tech at the Tech 47.
Very important drive for Tech, Al. They've got to get some points here to keep the ball away from Virginia. Virginia's touched the ball 3 times in this ball game. They've got 13 points as a result.
Tech at the Tech 47, keeping the ball on the ground. Double tight end, Covington and Gaucher. In motion goes Gaucher. There's the pitch and a toss sweep to Wright. 45. Right back at the 50. Right inside the 50 down to the 45-yard line of Virginia. Fine run. As Wright that time on the toss sweep cut it back in. He was knocked down by Tony Covington and Washington, the defensive tackle.
Good blocking by Tech. Just hard-nosed football. Sifri Mooney doing a good job blocking that time as they gave some seams back inside on the toss sweep, and Wright did a nice job of reading it. Went right, cut back left, picked up 8 yards.
2nd down and 3 to go. The Jackets at Virginia's 45. The lone setback, Jeff Wright, behind quarterback Sean Jones. Virginia in a 5 front. Sean this time pitching out to Wright. Wright at the 45. Has the first down as he fights his way out of bounds on the near sideline around the 41-yard line. Hit by Yusef Jackson, the interior linebacker. So the Jackets moving the football with Jeff Wright, the hard runner out of Campbell High of Smyrna, running the football.
Now Jenkins looks like he's wanting to come out of the game for his shoulder. They're motioning some substitutions. I think Jenkins is hurt, Al. They may take a timeout here. Official timeout. Jenkins is hurt.
Official marks the football at the 41-yard line of Virginia. First down, Georgia Tech at the Tech 41. Jenkins doesn't want to come out, but he's hurt, and here comes Tech's trainer staff coming in. He's had a bad shoulder all year, Kim.
He's played with pain. That shoulder keeps popping out on him, and he's walking off under his own power, but that's been a real problem for Darrell all season. Those shoulders have been banged up, and can't tell here the way he's walking whether it's the shoulder or not, but it would appear to be.
Russell Freeman comes in at offensive tackle for Darrell Jenkins. Freeman out of Homestead, Pennsylvania. 3 wide receivers in for the Jackets: Merchant, Lester, and Gilchrist. Tech at the 41-yard line of Virginia. Tech trails 13-0, second period, 12:25 on the clock. A ball and a hash mark on the near sideline. Jones sets his charges in the eye. Right the tail of the eye. Lawson, you're up back. We have tips to the right this time. Long count by Sean Jones. Here's Jones this time, giving off to Wright. Wright hacks up to the 40-yard line, and he was stopped in his tracks on the Virginia 40-yard line. Fine tackle by the nose guard, Carey, along with the defensive tackle, Hall. Combining, the official marks it at the 40, give him a tough yard. 2nd and 9 to go. Tech at the Virginia 40.
Boy, no hole there, and Wright really got hit that time as he came up the middle. Pounded, but picked up 1 yard.
Rodriguez checks in, so Tech with 3 wide receivers: Merchant, Rodriguez, and Lester. Split backs behind Sean Jones. Virginia in a 4 front. Jones back to pass. Looking, throwing. It is complete to Rodriguez at the 33-yard line, and down he goes. Hit by Wallace. Very close to a first down, about 2 yards shy of the first down at the Virginia 33. So it'll be a 3rd and 2 play for the Jackets at the Virginia 33.
Good throw that time. Rodriguez just flanked wide to the right, did a hook pattern. Virginia in zone coverage, and Jones rifled the ball in there. Big play here for Tech's offense.
All right, the Jackets at the Virginia 33. They're driving north, 3rd and 2. I set up with Jeff Wright, the tail of the eye. John Jones on the bark. Merchant in motion to the right. Here's Jones this time, pitching out to Wright. Wright has the first down inside the 30-yard line. Goes Jeff Wright on the toss sweep to the right that time. Knocked out of bounds on the far side of the field by Slay. First down for the Jackets, and the official says around the 27-yard line of Virginia. First down, Georgia Tech.
Good execution. Short side option play that time. Virginia rotated their defensive coverage to the wide side of the field. Tech faked to the fullback. Jones pitched it quickly to Wright, who turned the corner. Got the 5th first down of the ball game for Georgia Tech.
All right, Tech at the Virginia 27. Jenkins is back in the Tech lineup at left tackle. Gold at right guard for Georgia Tech. Merchant in motion to the left. Here's the pitch again to Wright. Right at the 30. Right at the 25. Right inside the 25 to the 23. Picked up 4 tough yards. Hit by McMeans, the safety man, and Lewis. So the Jackets keeping the ball on the ground. They've been driving from the Tech 24, Kim.
Well, they've only had 1 pass, and that one was the 2nd down pass to Rodriguez at the 33-yard line, a 7-yard gain. They've kept everything on the ground, and they've been very effective blocking the ball. Jeff Wright's done a nice job of running.
All right, Tech at the Virginia 23, 2nd and 6 to go. Clock ticks 10:05 in the second period. Virginia 13, Georgia Tech nothing. The eye set up in motion. Goes Merchant to the right, Virginia in a 5 front. Here's Sean Jones this time, faking, rolling right, throwing it, and it is incomplete. That time intended for Merchant. He was covered. Slade had a good pass rush before Sean Jones had time enough to hit Rodriguez in the end zone, or rather Merchant in the end zone.
Kelly was trying to hit him on the post pattern that time. Man coverage. It looked like Merchant had a step or so, but the ball was underthrown inside. A little contact down there, but no interference call.
3rd and 6 for Georgia Tech at the Virginia 23. 3 wide receivers in for Tech. Merchant, Rodriguez, Lester, and a passing situation for Sean Jones. Split backs behind quarterback Sean Jones. 2 wide receivers, and in motion, Rodriguez to the left. Back to pass, Sean Jones looking. Starts to run. Jones at the 25. Jones at the 20. Jones at the 15. Jones at the 10. Jones at the 5. Jones scores for Georgia Tech. Brilliant run by Sean Jones. Big play, Sean Jones, Kim.
Now, great effort by Sean Jones. Dropped back in the pocket, trying to get downfield. Great coverage by Virginia's secondary. Nobody open. Jones very quickly pulled it down. Looked like he might not even make the first down. But once he got around a couple of Virginia attackers, it was off to the race. It was a dash for the corner of the goal line, and he made it. Touchdown, 23-yard keeper by Sean Jones.
9:43 on the clock. Scott Sisson will try to make it 13-7. Parker will snap. Both lines set. Snap, touch. Kick by Scott Sisson. It is good. Georgia Tech 7. Virginia 13 with 9:43 on the Atlanta Journal clock on the scoreboard. Once again, you're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network.
When you want to get away from it all, there's no better way than on Delta Airlines. Delta flies to some of the world's great vacation spots, including California, Florida, and Hawaii, the Caribbean, Mexico, Europe, and the Far East. For the first step to a
So Georgia Tech goes 75 yards with their first points on an 11-play drive. The big one coming down at a 3rd down at the 23-yard line for Tech. Sean Jones dropped back in the pocket, saw his receivers covered, scramble, outraced everybody to the right goal line over in front of the Tech sideline. Got the first points for Tech with 9:43 to go here in the second period. It's Virginia 13, Georgia Tech 7, and most importantly, Tech in that 75-yard drive used 5 minutes off the clock. So that's important when the nation's #1 offensive team can't get their hands on the ball. And boy, they've been potent. Virginia's had the ball 3 times in this first half, and they've gotten 13 points out of it. Tech, on the other hand, has struggled early, but that was a nice 75-yard 11-play drive, Al.
On the kickoff team for Georgia Tech, it'll be Angelo Rush, Darrell Ray, Kevin Peoples, Darrell Swilling, Eric Fry, Alan Waters, the kickoff man, Tom Johnson, Steve Farr, Scott Travis is back in there, Frankie Scott, and Eric Bellamy. So Alan Waters, the kid out of North Clayton High School in Riverdale, will kick off for Georgia Tech. We got one brewing here now, Kim, in the first half. 13-7 as the Jackets under Sean Jones. Brilliant run. Gets Tech back in the ball game.
Well, the key for Tech's defense is to keep Virginia off the boards. They've had it 3 times, as we mentioned. They've gotten 3 scores out of it, and Sean Moore, a brilliant quarterback.
Tisdale in there on the kickoff team also. There's a 2 to the whistle. Alan Waters slowly forward. Toe meets leather and a high kick. They'll be taken on a fly by Holmes at the 4. He's back at the 5. Holmes at the 10. He's at the 15, and down he goes at around the 15, 16-yard line. The tackler that time coming down fast was Scott Travis, whose daddy Larry Travis is here, assistant athletic director of the Naval Academy, along with Kevin Peoples.
Well, that's good. That's the worst field position Virginia's had here early in the first half. Other times Tech has been able to push, or Virginia's been able to get the ball, I should say, upfield. We got a flag back upfield, and I think this is going to nullify the kickoff, all sides against Tech. We'll see what the call is going to be. So Tech does a nice job of covering on the kickoff and bottles Virginia up deep, but I think they're going to bring it back because Tech was all sides on the kickoff and make them kick it again. That's exactly what they're going to do.
I know that frustrates Coach Bobby Ross, Kim, when just little mistakes like that cost you a lot in the ball game. Field position.
That's the real, in a big ball game, you can't afford those kind of mistakes, Al. And as opposed to Virginia starting back at the 15, which would have been the worst field position they've had in this ball game, now they've got a chance to run one back against Tech, and Tech's got to kick it 5 yards further, and Tech has not been known for kicking the ball in the end zone, so additional pressure will be added on the kick coverage team here.
All right, the ball set up at the 30-yard line, so the Jackets now will kick off from the 30. On the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard, Virginia 13, Georgia Tech 7, with 9:37 on the clock here in the second period. Deep for Virginia goes Washington, Holmes, and Brown. Brown down the middle. Washington is to his right, and to his left is Holmes. Kicking off will be Alan Waters again for Georgia Tech, this time from the 30-yard line.
Final score, Al: Clemson 20, North Carolina 3 in the fourth quarter. Notre Dame 45, Navy 24.
The Irish rolling. Kicking off, as we mentioned, the ball on a tee. The referee, C.C. Daly, toots a whistle. Alan Waters slowly forward. Tommy Slithen, a high short kick this time. Will be taken on a fly at the 25 by Holmes. He's to the 30, to the 35, and out of bounds on the near sideline around the 39-yard line. Holmes run out of bounds on the 39. Waters, who kicked off for Georgia Tech along with Frank Scott. That was a short, high kickoff, and the official will mark the football around the Virginia 39-yard line. So there's a difference, Kim, of 24 yards on the penalty.
And that's a big difference because, again, as we talked about field position, Virginia's got excellent field position here for Sean Moore to operate.
All right, Sean Moore sets his charges. In that backfield is Kirby and Fisher. Lone setback is Fisher this time. Sean on a long count checking out the head trips to the left. In motion is Dooley to the right. Here's a handoff this time to Fisher. Fisher gets away from one tackler, stacked up at the 41-yard line. Give him 2 yards. Nicky Fisher hit by Jarrell Williams, the inside linebacker, along with Chris Simmons.
And Al Calvin Tiggle came up there and clogged up the hole and made the early hit. Couldn't wrap him up before Williams came over there and put the hit in Chris Simmons.
Tech's defense now starting to get a little stubborn against the running game inside, Kim.
Well, I think they're playing. I think early on they were a little intimidated, possibly a little tight. I don't know how to put it, but they look to be settled right now.
Wide to the left goes Tomlin. Twins to the left. They split the right end. Long count. In motion is Monday. Back to pass is Sean Moore. Throwing a long one up the middle. The man is there, complete to the 15-yard line of Georgia Tech to Herman Moore. He was tackled by Curly Day right down the middle. That combination, Kim, Moore to Moore.
Allie had him beat, and what a great throw it was. He just laid the ball out there on the post pattern. Moore flanked wide right. Went down on the post, and the ball was just laid out there perfectly. Ran under it, had his man beat, finally tackled. But a big play and evidence, further evidence of this tremendous explosive offense of Virginia.
44-yard pass completion. Sean Moore to Herman Moore. No relation. And to the Tech 16-yard line. The eye set up by Sean Moore. Tech forefront. Here's the handoff this time. Hitting with Fisher going inside to about the, 12-yard line. Hit by Battle and Jarrell Williams combining on the tackle. Sean Moore, when you give him a little time, Kim, he can throw long and deep to Herman Moore. The ball at the 13-yard line. 2nd and 7 to go. Virginia 13, Georgia Tech 7. Clock ticks with 8 minutes remaining in the second period. Fisher, the tail of the eye. Steele, the up back. Sean Moore in the eye on the count at the controls. Here's Shawn this time rolling to the right in the option pitch, and out to Nicky Fisher to the 10. Fisher inside the 10 to the 5, inside the 5. Ken Twilling brings him down at the 1-yard line. Boy, they knocked everybody down on the outside. Great blocking by on the option to the right. And that time they just knocked everybody down. And coming up fast was Ken Twilling from his secondary to knock him down at the 1-yard line. So Virginia at the 1, first and goal to go at the Georgia Tech 1.
Tech's just not able to slow Virginia down. They just dominated things offensively today. They've hit Tech with the big plays. This one, a big 44-yard pass to Moore, and then the option for 12 yards down to the 1.
Wishbone set up by Shawn Moore. Here's the handoff this time. Big pile up. He fumbled the ball on the snap. And a quarterback sneak, but I don't think he got in there. Picked it up on a quarterback sneak with Shawn Moore. And he's shy of the goal line, so make it second down and goal to go. Chris Simmons, submarining on the bottom of the pile. Second and goal, Virginia at the Georgia Tech 1. So Virginia at the Tech 1-yard line, second down and goal to go. Long huddle for Virginia defensively for Georgia Tech with that goal line defense. Wishbone set up with Sweeney right behind Shawn Moore. Here's a quarterback sneak again. Touchdown. Quarterback sneak with Shawn Moore. Touchdown, Virginia. And Shawn Moore puts Virginia on top 19-7.
Al, a 61-yard drive. And it only took 6 plays to go 61 yards. Tremendous offensive performance by Virginia.
Clock shows 6:42 remaining here in the first half. Virginia's going to go for 2. So it's Virginia 19, Georgia Tech 7. And look for Herman Moore. They like to go to Herman. Dooley goes wide to the left. Herman Moore wide to the right. Virginia with a lone setback behind quarterback Shawn Moore. They've got Tech stretched out. Shawn back to pass. Alley-oop into the end zone. It is complete to Herman Moore for the 2-point conversion. Moore was on Curly Day, so you've got 6-5 on 5-10, Ken. Alley-oop to Herman Moore for the 2-point.
And now they've done that so many times this year. Moore, that's the 11th touchdown pass he's caught this season. They like to match up a guy that's 6'5" like Moore, and he can jump high. And they put him over on Curly Day, and Curly only 5'10", a big height differential. And then Moore, Shawn Moore, the quarterback, throws it up high and lets him fight for the ball. That time, no contest. 2-point try good. Virginia on top of Tech 21-7.
Once again, you're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network. There, Al Serraldo along with Kim King. John Talbot back at Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, Virginia. Big ACC game. Virginia 21, Tech 7, Kim.
Al, Virginia's had the ball 4 times in this first half, and they've gotten points out of each possession. That time they went 61 yards in 6 plays. Shawn Moore again going over from 1 yard out. He scored their first touchdown with a 1-yard quarterback sneak early in the first period. The 2-point play, they lined up Herman Moore at 6'5", wide to the right. Curly Day on man coverage at 5'10", threw the ball up high, and Herman Moore came down with it. So Virginia 21, Georgia Tech 7, 6:42 to go in the second period.
6:42 on the clock here in the first half, and a high-scoring, potent offensive Virginia team, averaging 545 yards per ball game. Michael Usted will kick off for Virginia. Deep for Georgia Tech will go Kevin Tisdall with Angelo Rush and Jeff Wright. Wright will be to his left, Angelo Rush to his right.
Al, this is what Tech coaches feared, was to get into a shootout with Virginia and to let them get out in front with a big lead, because they're awfully tough and potent offensively, and it's hard to come back against Virginia. There's plenty of time left in this ball game, but you're talking about pressure. This drive for Tech is going to be pressure-filled because they've got to score.
2 to the whistle. Toe meets leather, and a line drive picked up by Tisdale at the 10. He's at the 15, at the 20. Goes to the far side of the field. He's at the 25. He's at the 30, and down he goes around the 36-yard line. The run back by Kevin Tisdale for Georgia Tech on a line drive type kick. And he was tackled by Washington on the kickoff team for the Virginia Cavaliers. So the Jackets with good field position at the Tech 36-yard line. 1st and 10 to go. So the Jackets break the huddle, ball on a hash mark on the far side of the field. Bell and Scott in the backfield with Sean Jones. Tech trails 21-7. In motion, Merchant to the left. Sean Jones this time. Back to pass, setting up, throwing. Rodriguez is there, complete to Rodriguez at the 47-yard line. First down for Georgia Tech on a pass completion to Rodriguez, hit by Jason Wallace, the left cornerback. So Jones throwing the football, 4 out of 8, Kim.
Now that was for their 6th first down. Rodriguez just did nothing more but a hook pattern on zone coverage. Flank wide to the left, he was open, and Jones drilled the ball in there. Good protection that time, and Jones did a nice job of rifling it upfield.
All right, the Jackets at the Tech 48. First and 10 to go. The ball on the hash mark on the near sideline. Split backs behind Sean Jones, Bell, and Stephen Scotton. Jones again back to pass, throwing complete to Covington, the tight end, down to the 43-yard line of Virginia. That's about a 9-yard pickup. He was hit by McMeans, the free safety man. They're shy of the first down by a yard. Second down and a yard. Tech at the Virginia 43. The pass to the tight end, Covington. Jones, 5 out of 9 throwing the football. Gilchrist checks in. Lester checks out with a play. The messenger system for Georgia Tech. The Jackets break the huddle. Split backs, Bell and Scotton behind quarterback Sean Jones. Tech at the Virginia 43. Back into the pocket, the pass, Sean Jones. Looking, pumps, throwing long, and the man is there. Complete the touchdown to Gilchrist. Touchdown, 43 yards. Sean Jones to Jerry Gilchrist. He let him, Kim. It was right in there, and Gilchrist with the speed. The youngster on the track team at Georgia Tech really picked him up and laid him down. Easy touchdown for the Jackets.
And Al Tech on that drive didn't need but a minute and 20 seconds to answer Virginia. They've gone 64 yards in a minute 20 seconds. They took a page out of Virginia's book there.
All right, Sisson will try to make it 21-14. Both lines set. Snap, touch, kick by Scott Sisson. It's high enough. It is good. Brother and sister, the first half thriller continues to brew, and it's a free-scoring affair. Virginia 21, Tech 14 on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Again, on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard with 5:22 remaining in the first half. Georgia Tech 21, Georgia Tech 14, Virginia 21. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network.
If you bought a car recently.
So Jerry Gilchrist takes in a 43-yard Sean Jones touchdown pass that gave Tech their second touchdown. Sisson added the point after, and Tech exploded back. They went a total of 64 yards on that drive and did it in 3 plays. Only took a minute and 20 seconds, and has stunned this crowd as Tech has come back in the ball game 21-14. But defensively, Tech's got their work cut out because, as we mentioned, Virginia 4 possessions, 4 scores. Tech's getting ready to kick off to them. But the big play on that was the 43-yard touchdown pass. Sean Jones to Jerry Gilchrist, flank wide to the right, just did an up pattern. Jones had excellent time and protection, Al, and did a great job of throwing the ball up high. Gilchrist had his man beat so badly, a quarterback has a tendency to rifle the ball in there. He threw the ball up high, let Gilchrist run under it, made a good catch, touchdown.
I know Buddy Folks was happy about Gilchrist. He's on the track team. And it's been a long time since a track youngster who has the speed is able to catch the football, Kim.
Well, you know what they've said about Gilchrist is he's been getting better every week. They noticed his improvement has been really remarkable this season. He's gotten better every week in practice and in games. And Bobby Ross told me a couple of weeks ago they expected some big plays out of him, and that was an example of what he's capable of doing.
So Gilchrist's first touchdown in his career at Georgia Tech out of Augusta, Georgia. Kicking off will be Alan Waters again. From a 35-yard line, deep for Virginia is Washington, Brown, and Holmes. 43-yard touchdown pass, Sean Jones to Jerry Gilchrist. The referee, C.C. Daly, set to toot the whistle. There's a toot of the whistle. Alan Waters slowly forward. Tommy Pleasant, a high kick. That's taken on the 6-yard line by Holmes. He's back at the 10. Holmes to the near sideline at the 15. He's at the 20, and down he goes on a solo tackle by Kevin.
Flag's coming in.
Marker on the play.
Flag came in late, Al. 15 yards on Tech for piling on, or late hit. After the Virginia return man was down, Tech had a man coming in late. Ball was tackled at the 23-yard line of Virginia, but once again, Virginia's going to have excellent field position. 15-yard penalty.
Mistakes.
38-yard line is where they're going to put the ball, and Sean Moore, excellent field position again.
And field position as a quarterback means a lot, Kim. If you've got that position, you can do more things as a quarterback. All right, from the 23-yard line, we're going to have the penalty marked off to the 38-yard line of Virginia. First and 10 for the Cavaliers from the Virginia 38. Personal foul against Georgia Tech. Defensively, the Day, Swilling, Balcom play Tech 4 deep. Virginia first and 10 at the Virginia 38. Here's the handoff this time to Kirby. Kirby up the middle, 45. Kirby to the 50-yard line. And down he goes. First down for Virginia, hit by Jay Martin, the strong safety. Kirby that time had a hole up the middle, and away he went for about 12 yards. To the midfield stripe. First down, 10 to go for Virginia at the midfield stripe. Clock ticks at 5:05 remaining in the first half. Virginia 21, Georgia Tech 14. The Cavaliers huddle. Sean Moore, Kirby, and Fisher in the Virginia backfield. Fisher, Kirby's lone set back behind quarterback Sean Moore. Now they go with Nicky Fisher, the lone set back. Rolling right to pass, Sean Moore throwing, and it's complete. And the man gets away from one tackler. That time it was Teagle, finally knocked down by Rudolph. The pass to Kirby. They like to throw to their halfbacks, Tim, out of that backfield. The pass completion to Kirby down to the Georgia Tech. They will mark it at the Tech 41-yard line. They're a yard shy of the first down, second and a yard to go for Virginia at the Tech 41.
Yeah, when they lined up with that set, they had Tech beat in that defensive alignment of Tech. They put the flanker Kirby, or put him in the slot on the right side. He went in the flat. The linebacker had to chase him to catch him. No way. Kirby was wide open.
Jay Martin's in for Swilling, a safety man for Georgia Tech. The eye set up. Here's the handoff this time to Kirby. Kirby bucks and stopped at the 39. I think he got his first down. Kirby got his first down. Jarrell Williams and Kevin Battle, along with Jeremiah McClary, ganging him up at the 39-yard line. First down, Virginia at the Georgia Tech 39. Clock ticks, 4:30 remaining here in the first half. Virginia 21, Tech 14. Virginia's yet to kick the football in this ball game. Eye set up with Kirby, the tail of the eye. The up back is Sweeney. Sean Moore on the mark. Tech in a 4 front. Long count, checking off is Sean Moore. Moore this time, back to pass, looking, throwing. It is complete to the man on the ground at the 34-yard line. You guessed it, Herman Moore again. Moore to Moore at the 34-yard line. Make it the 33, pickup of 6 yards, second and 4 to go. Moore throwing the football, 8 out of 10. He has been sharp.
Well, that time he checked off. He read blitz on Tech. Moore just did a little hitch, but fell down. Moore with his back on the ground, reached up with his arms, caught the ball. Nice catch.
Virginia at the Tech 33. The eye set up by Sean Moore. We have twins to the left. They split the right end. Here's Sean Moore giving up this time to his big fullback Steele. Steele bucks to about the 30-yard line, hit by Battle, and Marco Coleman ganging him up around the 30-yard line. He's going to be about a yard or so shy of the first down at the Georgia Tech 30. Clock ticks, 3:20 remaining here in the first half. With a score, Virginia 21, Tech 14. The ball at the Georgia Tech 30-yard line. Make a third down and a yard to go. Possession play for the Cavaliers. The ball on the hash mark on the near sideline. Virginia breaks the huddle. Dooley, a flanker out to the left. The eye set up by Sean Moore. The up back is Sweeney. In motion is Dooley to the right. Here's the handoff to Kirby. Kirby bucks, has the first down inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. Kevin Battle on the tackle for Georgia Tech. First down for Virginia. First down number 11 as Virginia continues to show that potent offense. Kim, it's one of the best offenses we've seen in a long time.
They're dangerous, Al, and they have so many weapons. Big backs. They have that big offensive line. Great wide receiver. Tremendous quarterback. They've got it all.
Virginia at the Tech 27. First and 10 to go. Tech trails by 7, 21-14. The eye set up by Sean Moore. Here's Moore this time, rolling right to pass. Starts to run, and down he goes around the line of scrimmage. Eric Fry and Jarrell Williams really ganging up on him, and the official marks the football at the Georgia Tech. Well, let's say the line of scrimmage for no gain. Second and 10. Virginia at the Georgia Tech 27. Clock ticks. 2:15 remaining here in the first half.
Al, he was trying to run the option pass to Moore, Herman Moore. Faked the ball, and he was trying to go downfield, but Moore wasn't open. Pulled it down, and Tech closed on him when he got it maybe a yard gain.
Ken Swilling checks in. Jay Martin checks out at safety for Georgia Tech. Here's Moore with one setback. Moore back to pass. Has protection. Rush this time out of the pocket. Gets away from 2 tacklers. And down he goes around the 25-yard line. Coleman Rudolph brings him down. The oncoming rush was on that time by Jeremiah McClary. And again, Kim, he evaded the rush of McClary.
Boy, somebody grabbed hold of his ankle. Otherwise, he was headed upfield for more yardage. Clock now ticking, 1:34 and running. Virginia leading Tech 21-14 here in the second period.
Virginia at the Tech 25. 3rd down and 8 to go. Clock ticking away the first half. Virginia 21, Tech 14. Virginia on a 3rd down passing situation. Sean Moore with one lone setback. In motion is Dooley. Back to pass. Moore throwing. It is complete to Tomlin. Over the middle, and down he goes around the 11-yard line. Pass completion, Sean Moore to Tomlin. First down, Virginia, with 1:07 on the clock.
Well, that was just a great call. They put the man in motion from the backfield and forced the inside backer to go with him, and that opened up a huge seam inside. They ran Tomlin on a little slant over the middle in that vacated area where the linebacker moved out, wide open, and Moore just drilled the ball in there for another first down.
The ball on the 11-yard line. First and 9 to go. The ball on the 9-yard line. Here's a handoff to Kirby. Kirby is tackled in his tracks around the 8-yard line. Hit in there by Marlon Williams and Kevin Battle. And Virginia calls a timeout to stop the clock with 41 seconds. With the score on the scoreboard again. Virginia on the Atlanta Journal scoreboard. Virginia 21, Tech 14. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network.
They're in road.
Driven from their 23 after Tech was penalized 15 yards to the 38-yard line. Virginia's gone on a 10-play drive. This is their 5th possession in the first half, and they're in scoring territory. 41 seconds remain. The clock has been stopped here. Virginia used the first of 3 timeouts. They have 2 left, and Tech desperately trying to keep them out of the end zone. They'd settle for a field goal here, and obviously Tech would love to go into that locker room with a 24-14 deficit, but a touchdown here, Al, will really put a lot of pressure on Tech.
All right, Virginia's at the 6-yard line. 2nd down and goal to go with 41 seconds. Kim, he really stretches the field, Sean Moore. You can see the wide receivers when he puts Herman Moore way out there, and then they put the man in motion. They stretch the field, and that always, well, Sean Jones could always go up the middle.
And Al, the thing I like about their offense is they use multiple sets, and they stretch not only the field on the defensive team, but they put you in situations by man in motion and shifting in, putting wingbacks in there that forces you to give something up. And on that 3rd down pass to Tomlin for 16 yards down to the 9, they ran Kirby in motion to the wide side. Tiggle, the linebacker, had to go with him. And when he did, they ran Tomlin right back in that zone. He hit him underneath for a 16-yard touchdown.
All right, Sean Moore sets his charges. Kirby, his lone setback. The ball at the 6-yard line of Georgia Tech. Sean Moore this time. Giving off to his halfback. Sean Moore goes for the touchdown. He's looking for the quarterback draw. There it was, Kim. Sean Moore scores. Virginia 27, Tech 14. Stretching it out again, Kim.
Well, that's what they did with a 3-wide set. They forced Tech into 3 men lined up, and then 1 defensive back there. 4 men they took away, and then Moore on the quarterback draw just went in untouched to lead Virginia to a 27-14 lead, trying to make it 28.
Jake McInerney will try to make it 28. Snap, touch, kick by McInerney. It's high enough. It is good. Virginia 28. Georgia Tech 14 on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard with 36 seconds on the clock here in the first half. So Virginia has moved the ball, this offense, and it's a powerful one, has moved the ball consistently against Georgia Tech in the first half. They haven't punted so far in the first half, so they've gone and driving for touchdowns and field goals, Kim.
Well, it's been really what everyone anticipated, and that is this high-powered offense just unstoppable. They almost have to stop themselves. They have just literally lit the scoreboard up. Tech has not been able to slow them down. They've hit big play after big play, and they picked Tech's defense apart. And they are sitting on a 28-14 lead here with 36 seconds to go in the half.
Kicking off for Virginia will be Michael Husted. Virginia 28, Tech 14 on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Tech has 3 timeouts remaining, 36 seconds on the clock. Deep for the Jackets goes explosive Kevin Tisdale. Martin will be to his right. And to his left will be Jeff Wright. Angelo Rush is to his right. There's a 2 to the whistle. Usted forward. Toby throws a bounding kick. They'll be taken on the bounce. Picked up by Angelo Rush. He's back at the 20. Angelo at the 25. Angelo at the 30. Angelo is knocked down around the 30-yard line, past the 30 to the 32. The run back by Angelo Rush for Georgia Tech. He was hit by Tim Moss on the kickoff team for Virginia.
Well, the reason the fans were booing, Tech got away with a big-time clip that time that the official didn't call it. And that's why fans here got upset.
All right, the official marks the football at the 29-yard line of Georgia Tech. 1st and 10 to go. Sean Jones. Split backs behind Sean as he looks at that 5 front. Jones back to pass. Has protection. Looking. Throwing. It is incomplete, intended for Rodriguez. Broken up by Wallace, the cornerback, intended for Rodriguez. Incomplete forward pass. Stops the clock at 23 seconds.
Now they threw it a little bit too far outside. Rodriguez was bending it inside, had his man beat, but the ball was thrown a little too much outside, and as he tried to make the adjustment, Virginia almost came in with the interception.
Sean Moore, 9 out of 11, throwing the football 154 yards, 3 touchdowns by running. The Heisman Trophy candidate really putting on a show. Split backs behind quarterback Sean Jones on a 2nd and 10. Jones back to pass. Has protection. Throwing. And it is complete to Merchant and out of bounds to stop the clock at the 45-yard line. That time, Merchant and Covington went for the football. 1st down. The out-of-bounds play stops the clock at 16 seconds.
Nice catch by Merchant that time. Had to sort of wait for the ball on the out pattern. Had to wrestle it away from a Virginia coverage man back there. That was Tony Covington, who had his hands almost on the ball.
Tech at the Virginia 45. Tech has 3 timeouts. 16 seconds on the clock. I set up with William Bell, the tail of the eye. Sean Jones on the bark. 4 front for Virginia. Here's Jones rolling left to pass. Has protection. Throwing long. And it is Rodriguez there, and he's incomplete. Rodriguez wanted interference that time with Wallace, who was pushing Rodriguez down the near sideline.
Well, Wallace had inside position, and Rodriguez wanted to bend back to the ball. He just couldn't. Official right on top of the play. No interference. Clock is down to 10 seconds.
2nd and 10. 10 seconds on the clock. Tech still has the 3 timeouts. Covington goes out. The Jackets go with 3 wide receivers. Rodriguez, Lester, and Merchant. The ball at the Tech 45. 2nd and 10 to go. Rodriguez and Lester, twins to the left. Split backs. Rodriguez in motion to the right. Back to pass. Sean Jones looking, throwing. It is in and out of the hand of Rodriguez, who had the ball at the Virginia 38-yard line. 5 seconds on the clock.
Alley was wide open there at the 40-yard line. Just couldn't hold on to the ball. Perfect throw by Jones, but Rodriguez, for whatever reason, dropped it. So this will probably be the last play of the half. 5 seconds. Tech will just throw this one up and hope and pray.
All right, 5 seconds, as Kim mentioned. Tech at the Tech 45, 3rd and 10 to go. Trips to the left this time for the Jackets. Lone setback is Bell. Back to pass. Sean Jones looking. He's going to throw long downfield up the middle. And it'll be a scramble, and it's intercepted, I believe, by Virginia. And there's the end of the 1st half. Intercepted by Tony Covington. And there's the end of the 1st half. With the score on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard, Virginia 28, Georgia Tech 14. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network.
So both teams back on the field. Virginia won the toss and deferred the 2nd half. Kicked off to Tech, and Tech will now kick off to Virginia. Al, Virginia's had it 5 possessions in the 1st half, scored 28 points, been unstoppable.
And they haven't given us much breaks, Jim. They had 1 penalty, 10 yards. Tech had 2 tough penalties. They had 4 in the 1st half for 36 yards. But it's been a really potent, powerful offensive machine. Virginia has advertised 545 yards per ball game, Kim. And that more combinations, unstoppable.
And they're right on schedule. They've got 260 yards offensively in this 1st half, more than half of their average. And for Tech, I'm sure that they've been working frantically in the locker room to try to figure a strategy to come up and make some plays to, if nothing more, slow down Virginia. They have just been dominant as they move the ball at will against this Georgia Tech defense. Offensively, Al, I thought Tech showed some sign and poise in the 2nd quarter and have moved the ball pretty well against Virginia. But early on, Tech looked very tentative and did not amount to anything offensively the first couple of series of the ball game.
All right, the Jackets deployed in kickoff formation. Alan Waters setting the ball up on a tee at the 35-yard line. Virginia 28, Tech 14 as we start the third period. Deep for Virginia goes Washington, Brown, and Holmes. Right down the middle is Brown. To his right is Washington. To his left is Holmes. Kicking off for Georgia Tech will be Alan Waters. Rush. Now the Darrell Ray, People, Swilling. That's Darrell Swilling. Fry, Waters, Johnson, Parr, Travis Scott, Bellamy on the Tech kickoff team. The attendance, a new record for Scott Stadium, 49,700. A new record for Scott Stadium here in Charlottesville, 49,700. Kicking off. There's the 2 to the whistle. Alan Waters slowly forward. Toe meets led in a high kick. Will be taken by Holmes at the 10-yard line. Holmes is back at the 15. He's at the 20, 25, and down he goes at the 27-yard line. Hit by, on the kickoff team, Kevin Peoples for Georgia Tech at around the 27-yard line. So Virginia takes over at the Virginia 27-yard line, 1st and 10 to go.
Al, I don't want to wear this out, but that's the worst field position for a starting series Virginia's had today. The previous worst was at their 32-yard line.
Herman Moore checks in. 6'5", jumping jack, and he can jump, brother and sister. The eye set up by quarterback Sean Moore. Sweeney, the up back. Kirby, the tail of the eye. Tech in a forefront. The long count by Sean Moore. Here's Moore this time rolling right on the option. On the keeper, 25, and down he goes.
Ball.
Football.
Tech got it out.
Tech got the football.
Tech got it.
Marlon Williams got the football. He was racked up that time. He was really hit that time at the 28-yard line. Marlon Williams on top of the football on the option to the right. Calvin Teagle forced him to cough up the football, Kim.
A big play, and Kevin Battle limps off the field. Looks like he may have hurt an ankle or knee. Tech got a big break.
That's the first break of the football team, and that's of the game, we should say. So the Jackets at the Virginia 14 on the recovery, the fumble by Marlon Williams. The Jackets break the huddle. Lone setback behind Sean Jones is William Bell. In motion, Merchant to the right. Jones pitching out to Bell. Bell at the 30. Bell back at the 25. Bell inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. He's knocked off his pins by Keith McMeans, the free safety man. Bell starting out wide and cutting back where he found daylight.
And now good blocking on the right side by Sifry and Mooney and Chubbs that time. They just got into the chest area, the defensive lineman, and they couldn't get off the blocks, and that gave Bell a chance to turn it back inside and make a nice game.
Pick up of 6 yards, 2nd and 4 to go for the Jackets at the Virginia 22. The eye set up. Scott and Bell in that I formation. In motion, Covington, the tight end. Here's the pitch to Bell again. Bell 25, Bell 20. Bell inside the 20, down to the 17-yard line. First down for Georgia Tech. Around the 17, I think his knee touched the 17. He was hit by John Hall. They move the chain. Jackets has a first down at the Virginia 17. 1st and 10 to go. Tech trying to get back in the ball game. They trail Virginia 28-14. Third period just underway. Wright checks in. Bell checks out. Lester, Gilchrist are the wide receivers for Georgia Tech. 3 wide receivers, Merchant, Lester, Gilchrist. The eye set up by Sean Jones at the Virginia 17.
Yeah, Tech
we got movement on the play. Big Mooney moving on the right side.
Boy, that really hurts, Al. Tech's got 1st and 10 there at the 17 and make another mistake, penalties. And boy, that's unusual. That's the 5th penalty in the ball game for Georgia Tech. The least penalized team in the conference, but already have exceeded their game average in the first half. 5 yards.
Comes in to change the play. Rodriguez comes in also. Gilchrist goes out. So you got Rodriguez and Lester and Merchant, your wide receivers. The ball now back at the 22-yard line. 1st and 15 for the Jackets at the Virginia 22-yard line. Eye set up with Jeff Wright, the tail of the eye. Sean Jones on the count. The forefront. Here's Jones this time, back to pass. Looking, throwing them, complete to about the 12-yard line to Greg Lester, went high in the air. Lester hit in midair by Wallace, the left cornerback. Official will mark the football around the 12, let's call it about the 12-yard line. A pickup that time at 10 yards. So it'll be 2nd down and 5 to go. Tech at the Virginia 12, double tight end. Covington and Gaucher for the Jackets. Gilchrist wide to the left. Wide to the right goes Merchant. Rolling left this time. Here's the reverse to Gilchrist. Gilchrist is at 15. Gilchrist at the 10. Gilchrist at the 5. Gilchrist scores for Georgia Tech. On the end around, Gilchrist. Good block from Mike Mooney, and that time the Jackets went to the reverse to Jerry Gilchrist, his second touchdown of the ball game. So the speedster is putting on a show, Kim.
And now big break in the ball game. Virginia on the first offensive play. Sean Moore, I should say, fumbles. Tech goes in the end zone. It took him 4 plays to go 28 yards.
28-20. Jackets trail by 8. Scott Sisson will try to make it 28-21. Snap, touch, kick by Scott Sisson. It's high enough. It is good. Virginia 28. Georgia Tech 21. 12:47 on the clock. Once again, you're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network.
From the castles of Europe to the sun-drenched Caribbean, across North America to the pagodas of the Far East.
So Tech, after Sean Moore fumbles the ball on the first offensive play of the game, recovers at the Virginia 28-yard line. Bill got 6 yards on the first play to the 22. Bill got 5 more to the 17, which picked up a first down. Tech, though, was penalized on the next play for illegal procedure back to the Virginia 22, where it made it 1st and 15 there. Lester caught a 10-yard pass from Jones, was good to the 12, and then Tech ran the option play, it appeared, to the left side, but Gilchrist, flank left, came back to his right, took the pitch on the reverse, and had a whole covey of Tech blockers, went down the right sideline untouched, 12 yards for the score, and Tech has gotten back in the ball game. It's Virginia 28, Tech 21.
Well, Kim, we got a free-scoring affair. 28-21, as you mentioned, on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Deep for Virginia goes Washington, Brown, and Holmes. Kicking off for Georgia Tech again will be Alan Waters. Out of North Clayton High School, a kid out of Riverdale, Georgia. Setting the ball up on a tee midway between the sidelines at the 30-yard line. C.C. Daly, the referee, about set to toot the whistle. Virginia 28, Tech 21. Hang on, brother and sister. We got a thriller brewing here at Scott Stadium. 49,700 fans looking on. Record crowd for Scott Stadium. C.C. toots the whistle. Alan Waters slowly forward. Toe meets leather, a high kick. They'll be taken by Holmes again on the fly at the 4. He's at the 5, the 10. Holmes at the 15. Comes to the near sideline at the 20. Holmes at the 22, 23, and down he goes at the 25-yard line. Hit by Kevin Peoples again on the kickoff team for Georgia Tech. Kevin out of Gainesville, Florida. Sophomore, 6'1", 197-pounder. So the Cavaliers take over on the kickoff return by Holmes to the 25-yard line of Virginia. The ball on a hash mark on the near sideline. Virginia 28, Tech 21. Third period, 12:40 on the clock in the third stanza. Dooley wide to the left. Split to the right, Herman Moore. I with Kirby the tail of the eye. Here's Moore rolling left to pass. Pressure throwing. Boy, the pressure was on by Marco Coleman. And that's one time, Kim, they got to Moore and forced him to throw the football.
Yeah, good pressure that time, and he threw the ball short. Coleman came free up inside and got right in the face of Sean Moore, who had to throw it very quickly, incomplete at the feet of his receiver, because he was also covered by Jarrell Williams out there. Ball was thrown incomplete. First time Tech's, well, actually the second time. The first time was in Holmes, had the blitz, but Moore got out of it. That time, Coleman right in his face.
All right, Virginia has Tomlin wide to the left. They have twins to the left. The eye set up with Kirby, the tail of the eye. Sean Moore in the bark. Tech's in a 5. Here's the handoff to Kirby up the middle. Kirby 27, Kirby 30, and down he goes at the 31-yard line for a 6-yard pickup. Calvin Teagle and Marlon Williams on the tackle. 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network.
This is your exclusive Georgia Tech Sports Network. WFXA AM 1550, Augusta.
Al Seraldo, Kim King, John Talbert back at Scott Stadium here in Charlottesville, Virginia. Record crowd looking on. Virginia 3rd and 4 at the Virginia 31-yard line. Lone setback is Kirby. Behind quarterback Sean Moore. Moore back to pass. Has protection. Looking, throwing up the middle. It is complete to the 50-yard line. To Derek Dooley. He is away to the 43-yard line of Georgia Tech. Pass completion right down the middle. Sean Moore Derek Dooley, Teagle, and Holmes on the tackle. And when you give more time, Kim, it's tough.
Well, he just had too much time back there in the pocket. Nobody was on him. And he just waited to Dooley, flanked to the left, worked open across the middle of the field. He was wide open, and Dooley did a nice job of running after he caught the ball.
The two roommates combining for a 22-yard gain. Sean Moore to Derek Dooley, the son of Vince Dooley. I set up at the Georgia Tech 43-yard line. Kirby the tail of the I. Dooley in motion to the right. Here's a handoff to Kirby. Kirby up the middle, has a couple of tough yards and stopped at the 41-yard line by Marlon Williams and Calvin Teagle. Interior linebacker and the outside linebacker give him 2 yards to the 41. 2nd and 8. Virginia at the Tech 41. Clock ticks with 11:05 remaining in the third period. Virginia breaks the huddle, ball on a hash mark on the near sideline. Simmons checks in. Marco Coleman checks out. An outside linebacker. Wide to the left goes Moore and Tomlin. Sean on the bark. Here's Sean Moore back to pass. Looking. Pressure, throwing. And it is knocked down in a fine play by Ken Swilling.
Great play by Swilling, Al.
Swilling came over and knocked it out of the hands of Mundy, the big tight end. Incomplete forward pass.
Mundy was open on a little short post corner route, went down and then went on a sort of a corner route to the sideline. It looked like he was open. The ball was laid up there, and Swilling with great timing got his hands and his body there right when the ball came in, knocked it away.
Mundy checks out for Virginia. Chris Simmons checks out. Marco Coleman's back in the lineup. Virginia with wide to the left goes Johnny Wilson. Trips to the left this time. Lone setback Kirby behind Sean Moore. On a 3rd and 8 from the 41, back to pass Sean Moore. Looking, throwing. It is complete to Herman Moore down to the 26-yard line. First down for Virginia. Ken Swilling knocks Herman Moore down, and that combination has been very effective here this afternoon. For Sean Moore, Herman Moore has caught 6 passes in the ball game.
Al just been unstoppable that time. He was open in another situation where Sean Moore, the quarterback, had plenty of time to stay in the pocket to let Herman Moore work open.
You got to get to the passer, Kim. That's the best pass rush. But so far, Moore has had a good afternoon. They've been protecting him. Here on the back to pass is Sean, throwing into the end zone. And it is incomplete. Intended for Dooley. Incomplete near the goal line. Clay and Ken Swilling covering for Georgia Tech. Incomplete forward pass. 2nd and 10. Virginia at the Tech 27.
Al Swilling got caught up inside that time, and Dooley flanked wide to the right, did a post pattern. He got behind everybody. Got behind Clay, got behind Swilling. Jones Moore faked the option play and then came back in the pocket, threw it just a little too far, couldn't hold on to it, incomplete.
Tomlin wide to the right for Virginia. Herman Moore wide to the left. Tech shows Virginia a 4 front. In the I, Sean Moore on the count. Long count by Sean. Sean checking out Sean Moore. Here's Moore this time, giving off to Kirby. Kirby has yardage at the 20, and he is going to be stacked up and out of bounds on the far side of the field. Forced out of bounds by Keith Holmes. Kirby has a first down. Boy, he went wide. He was the outstanding high school football player in America 2 years ago. Great basketball player. Kirby down, and the official marks it at the 16-yard line of Georgia Tech. First down for Virginia.
Yeah, good run by Kirby that time. Looked like he's going to get hit shy of the first down, but just bolted through a tackler and then ran out of bounds. But again, not before he got another first down for Virginia.
Virginia on the prowl again at the Tech 16. 28-21, Virginia over Tech. I with Sean Moore. Kirby the tail of the I. Here's the hand. Moore giving off to the big fullback Sweeney, who bucks, goes past the 15, inside the 15, around the 14, hit by Marco Coleman, the sophomore outside linebacker for Georgia Tech from Dayton, Ohio. So the football move from the 16 to the 14. 2nd down and 8 to go, 8.5 to go. Herman Moore checks back in for Virginia. Herman a flanker to the left. Derek Dooley wide to the right. Split backs behind the quarterback, with Sweeney right behind him. Moore back to pass. Sean looking, throwing. The man is there. Intercepted by Georgia Tech. Teagle. He's at the 30. Teagle at the 40. Teagle is knocked out of bounds on the far side of the field. Teagle on a deflection out of the hands of Fisher. Teagle got the deflection out of the hands of Fisher, and there's a man injured for big think Ray Roberts, our All-American tackle, is down on the Astro.
Tech has come up with 2 big turnovers here. The first one, the fumble on the first play of the second half that Tech converted into a touchdown. That time, Virginia on a drive that started their 25-yard line, their 10th play of the drive, Moore was looking wide to the right, to the wide side of the field, saw everybody covered and looked back to his left, had a man wide open, threw the ball off his hands. Tiggle caught it running upfield and rambled it all the way up to the 48-yard line where he was tackled and knocked out of bounds.
All right, the Jackets with a first down at the Tech 48-yard line on the interception by Tiggle. 28-21, Virginia. I set up with Bell, the tail of the eye. Sean Jones on the bark, looks at the forefront. Here's Jones faking, rolling right, bootlegging to the right. Jones running at the 50, Jones at the 40 and out of bounds on the far side of the field at the 44-yard line. Yusef Jackson forcing him out of bounds at the Virginia 44. So give him 8 yards on the bootleg to the right by Sean Jones.
That was a nice job by Jones that time. Virginia's defense looking for the tall sweep, which they faked, and then he came back to the right on the bootleg. Got outside of containment, did a nice job of running the ball across the field and picked up 7-8 yards.
The official says he went out at the 45. Lester comes in. Rodriguez goes out. Split backs behind Sean Jones on a 2nd and 3 from the Virginia 45. In motion, Merchant to the left. Here's Jones this time, giving off to Bell. Bell has yardage, has the first down inside the 40 to the 39-yard line of Virginia. First down for the Jackets. Bell on a counter play. Stopped by Killian. And a Tech man is down on the field, who is big Daryl Jenkins again, Kim.
Al, he injured his shoulder earlier in the half, I should say in the second quarter. And this time it looks like it might be a foot or leg or something. He comes up holding his left leg, it looks like, and they're going to help him off the field. So Jenkins playing with that shoulder injury. Looks like he may have hurt a leg or a knee. And he's going to come out of the ball game. That'd be a big blow because he's a big load. But Russell Freeman, who broke his hand in the North Carolina game, is back in for Daryl Jenkins, who's going out with the assistance of 2 trainers, and it doesn't look good for him returning.
Gilchrist wide to the left. Tech a first down at the Virginia 39-yard line. The ball inside the 40. Sean Jones sets his charges with the split backs. Bell and Scotton behind Sean. Up over that football is Billy Chubbs. Here's Jones on the bark. Jones back to pass. Passing intended for Covington.
Al, he hit the official. He came off the line and hit the official.
McMeans there to defend, but the official was in the road and it hit him. Incomplete pass.
Virginia came on the blitz, and Jones and Covington read it. They call a hot read. That's where the linebackers are coming. The tight end reads it, comes right over the middle, and the quarterback dumps it quickly. Covington and Jones did their part, but the ball got tangled up with the official.
3 wide receivers for the Jackets. Rodriguez, Lester wide to the left on twins. Jones back to pass. Here's a draw play to Bell. Bell inside the 35 to about the 34 for 5 yards on the draw. Halfback draw to William Bell. He picks up 5 on the tackle. Killian, the freshman out of Pittsburgh, along with Goodwin, the defensive right end. So the Jackets at the 34. 3rd and 5 at the Virginia 34.
28-21 ball game. Virginia leads Tech, but Tech trying to convert here on 3rd down.
The ball near a hash mark on the far side of the field. Gilchrist wide left. Goolsby makes it twins to the left. The eye set up with quarterback Sean Jones at the control. Sean Jones can't hear the count.
Going to have to call timeout, Al.
He wants the official.
Going to have to call timeout or they're going to throw the flag. None of the official. Jones turned to the official because the crowd noise was so great. The time clock was dropping, but they didn't throw the flag. So let's see what the official's going to say now. Delay a game, penalty against Tech. So big play goes against Tech. Jones couldn't hear the count, turned to the official. The official would not stop the clock, and the time clock ran down. Tech's going to be penalized 5 more yards.
All right, so the Jackets are back at the Virginia 39-yard line. 3rd down and 10 to go. Position play, passing situation for Sean Jones. 3 wide receivers, Merchant, Lester, and Gilchrist. Twins to the left, split backs behind Sean Jones. Jones on the bark, back to pass. Jones looking, throwing. It is dropped in and out of the hands of Merchant at the 28-yard line, which has been a first down. Merchant dropping the football.
Couldn't hold on to it, Al. Turned it in. He had the ball in his hands, but just couldn't hold on to it. Tech's going to kick it.
This will be an effort. Punt formation coming up for the Jackets. Punt formation coming up with Aldridge in deep punt formation. Wallace single safety. The line of scrimmage at 39. 4th and 10 to go. Scott Aldridge waiting. Good pass in center. Aldridge gets his foot in the football. A skyliner. Fair catch is called for, but it hits on the 6 and will be touched by Tech at the 4-yard line. Fine kick by Aldridge. Scott Travis pouncing on the ball at the Virginia 4-yard line. And there's a timeout on the playing field with a score on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Virginia 28, Tech 21, 7:51 on the clock in the third period. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network.
There in Georgia.
So Tech's
Everyone
Calvin
knows
Tiggle
that-
comes up with Tech's second turnover, intercepts a Sean Moore pass, deflected off the hands of a receiver, raced it down to the Tech 48-yard line. But after Tech crossed midfield and got themselves in good position for 2nd and 5, Tech was penalized 5 yards because Sean Jones complained to the official, the crowd noise, couldn't hear the snap. The official did not stop play and threw the flag 5 yards on Tech, delay a game, pull it back to the 39-yard line. We're on 3rd and 10. Jones tried to hook up with Merchant, who was coming across the middle, had what appeared to be the first down, but just couldn't hold on to the ball, incomplete, and Aldridge is now punting the ball down dead at the Virginia 4-yard line. It's Virginia 28, Tech 21 with 7:51 to go in the third.
Jay Martin's in at safety for Tech in the defensive backfield. Clay, Balcom, Jay Martin, and Keith Holmes. Interior linebackers, Teagle and Williams. Outside linebackers, Marlon, Williams, and Chris Simmons. Your 3-down linemen, McClary, Battle, and Rudolph. Virginia at the Virginia 4, 1st and 10 to go. Third period, 28-21. Virginia on top of Tech. The eye set up with Kirby, the tail of the eye. In motion is Dooley to the right. His hand off to Kirby. Kirby is stacked up around the 5-6-yard line. Brother Fisher. Fisher stopped by big Kevin Battle. Big battleship. 6'5", 295 from M.D. Collins High School. So the gain from the 4 to the 6. Give him 2 yards, 2nd and 8 to go. Ball midway between the sidelines. Third period, clock ticks. 7:29 remaining in the third stanza. 28-21 Virginia and a free scoring affair. Virginia in the eye, wide to the left is Derek Dooley. The tail of the eye is Fisher. Long count, checking off is Sean Moore. Moore this time rolls right to pass. Looking, throwing. It is complete to that 10-yard line. The man goes out of bounds at the 9, rather. Complete to Steele. Running out of the backfield, so it's 3rd down and 5 to go. Big defensive play for the Jackets, Kim?
Well, it's obviously a big play for both teams here. Virginia has been able to convert almost at will their 3rd down situations. That time, Tech had the corner blitz on, but they brought it from the wrong side. Moore rolled away from the blitz, and he had Steele open in the flat for a short gain out to the 9.
Virginia sends in about 5 substitutions. Virginia at the 9-yard line, 3rd down and 5. Virginia at their own 9. It's the lone setback is Kirby. Rolling back the pass. There's a shovel pass. He fumbles it. Picks it up, and the official says incomplete.
Incomplete, Al.
Incomplete pass. Boy, Marco Coleman really put the pressure on Sean Moore, Kim.
Al, the play is designed to not block the outside backer. They want him to charge upfield, and then they throw it back on the shovel to Kirby, who is coming from his right to his left, and he cuts inside the on-charging Marco Coleman. But that time, Kirby couldn't hold on to it. That is a pass, not a lateral, so incomplete pass.
Bill Curry will snap the football, Kim. In deep punt formation goes Ed Garneau.
First time they punted today.
Garneau will kick out of the end zone. The line of scrimmage, the 9 of Virginia. Single safety. The 10-man rush coming up. There's the rush is on. He gets his foot in the football. And a high kick that McGill will take on the fly at the 44. McGill back at the 45. McGill at the 50. McGill down to the Virginia 46-yard line. So the Jackets have good field position. 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. And Bill Curry will snap the ball downfield and make the tackle, Kim.
Well, it's good to see Billy Bum, as my daughter Abby nicknamed Billy Curry many years ago. Of course, all Tech people know who he is.
All right, the Jackets break the huddle. And now they say there's a timeout in the playing field. 6:54 on the clock on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Virginia 28, Tech 21. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network.
Day at
So after Tech couldn't stop Virginia in the first half, Virginia had it 5 times and drove the ball and got 5 scores in the second half on Virginia's first possession. Second half kickoff, first play, Sean Moore fumble. Tech took that for the 27 of Virginia and drove it in for the touchdown. Then on the next possession, Virginia went on a long one, about a 9 or 10 play drive, but Moore threw the interception that Tiggle caught, ran it back up around midfield. And then after Tech was unable to move it, Aldridge kicked the ball dead at the Virginia 4. And then for the first time in the ball game, Tech held Virginia to 3 plays. And then Garneau, Virginia's punter, kicked for the first time today. Kicked it out to Jason McGill, who ran the ball back across midfield, where it'll be put into play at the Virginia 46-yard line. 6:54 to go in the third quarter. Virginia 28, Georgia Tech 21.
On the fumble recovery, they're giving it to Teagle. So Teagle's had a fumble recovery and also an intercepted pass. And he's broken up a pass, so he's having a great defensive game. All right, the Jackets, good position at the Virginia 46-yard line. 1st and 10, Jackets. I set up Bell, the tail of the eye. Sean Jones giving off to Bell, up the middle. Bell at the 45, inside the 45 to the 43 of Virginia. Hit by Slade, along with the interior linebacker Killian, a freshman out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, that Georgia Tech made a big try for, but we turned up as number 2. The ball at the 43, 3-yard pickup, 2nd and 7. Tech at the Virginia 43. Gilchrist checks in. Gilchrist, Lester, Merchant, your 3 wide receivers for Tech. They have twins to the left, Lester and Gilchrist. High set up by Sean Jones. Virginia shows Sean a 4 front. Sean on the bark. Jones this time on the option, pitching out to Bell. Bell to 40. Bell inside the 40 to the 37-yard line, close to 1st down. On the option, pitch to the left of Bell, hit by the 2 interior linebackers, Yusef Jackson and P.J. Killian. They're going to be shy about a yard.
And now Freeman,
a yard and a half.
Russell Freeman has hurt his left shoulder, so they're going to have to make those adjustments. Hutto will come into the ball game at guard, and they'll move Lavin over to left tackle. This was the lineup they used against North Carolina.
3rd down and a long yard and a half to go. Tech breaks the huddle, big play at the Virginia. Let's call it the Virginia 38. Lone setback is Bell behind quarterback Sean Jones. Virginia in a 5 front. Sean Jones having trouble with the crowd roaring. Jones pitching out to Bell. Bell at the 40. Bell inside the 40 to the 36-yard line. He's going to be shy about a foot or so of that 1st down, Kim.
I don't think he got it, Al. I think you're right. I think he's going to be shy maybe as much as a yard. Ball had to get up to the 36-yard line. I think they're going to mark it down just inside or just shy of the 37-yard line. So 4th down here. Tech's got a big decision.
4th down and a yard to go. So Bobby Ross, Boss Ross, he's got to call the right play here. Lester comes in. The Jackets going for the 1st down.
Tech's going to have to hurry, Al. The time clock is down to 12 seconds. They're confused out there. Tech's going to have to take a timeout.
So the Jackets call for a timeout. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network.
Whether you drive a Ramblin' wreck or a luxury import, AutoSure Auto Parts and Haviland Motor Oil is the right combination for you. AutoSure has been serving Georgia since 1890. No one has more experience. That's why you can trust AutoSure when they recommend Haviland Motor Oil for your car. Haviland stands up to extreme heat and stress without breaking down, and it helps protect your engine when you start it on cold mornings. Haviland for engine protection you can trust. Featured at AutoSure Auto Parts stores, your professional auto parts people.
If you're old...
Wow, everybody's gone smiling!
Smiling, smiling USA. Smiling, smiling USA. Smiling USA. Everybody's gone smiling, smiling USA.
28 convenient locations to serve you.
I can't hear you, John. All right, the Jackets send back in the ball game Russell Freeman at left tackle. Tech's going to go for the 1st down. The ball at the 37-yard line of Virginia and a hash mark on the near sideline. Tech with a double tight end, Covington and Wright. Sean Jones, Bell, and Stephen Scott in that backfield. Tech breaks in the I formation. Miller up over that football. Wing back is to the left. In motion, the wing back to the right, Rice. Here's the pitch. It's time to Bell. Bell has the 1st down inside the 35 to the 32-yard line. Lewis knocked him off his pin. 1st down for Georgia Tech, as Bell that time, Kim, was really running hard.
Now good blocking by Mooney and Siffer, and we got a Virginia man injured down on the turf.
Yusef Jackson.
Well, this drive started up at the Virginia 46-yard line. Bell got 3 to the 43-yard line on the first down, and Bell got 5 more to the 38. Bell got 1 on a toss sweep to the left on 3rd and about 2, but he was tackled about a yard shy, and then Tech on 4th down decided to go for it. Came up and had to call timeout because they were confused as they were trying to get the right 4th down substitutions into the ball game. Jones took the timeout, did the toss sweep to the right side, and Bell has just run the ball to the 33-yard line of Virginia, where that will be a first down for Georgia Tech. So Yusuf Jackson, who's played a good football game here so far, comes out a little wobbly, being assisted there. Looks like he's walking all right, but Tech now with 1st and 10, 4:58 to go. They trail Virginia. It's Virginia 28, Tech 21.
All right, Tech at the Virginia 33, 1st and 10 to go. Rodriguez wide to the left, wide to the right. Goes Merchant. Spit back behind Sean Jones, Bell, and Scott. Here's bootlegging to the right goes Jones. Jones at the 35, Jones at the 30. Jones run out of bounds to the far side of the field. Let's see where the official says he stepped out of bounds around the 26-yard line, forced out of bounds by Goodwin. So it was a gain of about 7 yards. They forced Jones out of bounds. Well, let's call it the 26-yard line, 2nd down and 3.5 to go. Lester checks in. Rodriguez checks out.
Al Tech's been able to get outside and break containment on Virginia on that bootleg play, and that time Jones very wisely saw Rodriguez covered downfield and picked up 7 yards.
The jackets in the eye. Sean Jones sets it, charges, checks at 5 front at the Virginia 26. Merchant in motion to the left. Here's Jones this time, faking, rolling left to pass. Jones looking, throwing in the end zone. The man is there. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. Merchant. Touchdown, Merchant. Jones to Merchant. Touchdown as McMeans, the safety man, hit him, but he held on to the football. Came in the end zone. Brother and sister, hang on. We've got that thriller brewing here at Scott Stadium.
Well, this crowd is stunned. Jones had him wide open from the get-go. Merchant flanked left, went down, did a post pattern, had his man beat. The ball was thrown. Looked like the adjustment was going to be made defensively. The ball got batted up, and Merchant came down and made a great catch with great concentration.
Scott Sisson will try to tie it up there. Snap, touch, kick by Scott Sisson. It is good. Tie ball game, brother and sister. Tech 28, Virginia 28, 4:34 on the clock on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network.
This is the bank.
Yes, I'd like to change the date I received my checking account statement.
I'm sorry, but
I pay my bills on the 1st, and...
I'm sorry, we process statements alphabetically.
If I wanted my statement on the 30th...
You'd need to be a Z.
For years, your bank decided when you got your statement. Now at CNS, you can get an up-to-date statement anytime you want it at any CNS instant banker machine.
This is the bank.
This is Zelda Zinfandel.
We're CNS, where you belong. Member FDIC.
This is Bill Fulcher with Sherman and Hem Street. Our full-service insurance department has grown steadily over the past 67 years, providing personal service for all your insurance needs. With our professional, knowledgeable staff, we can provide creative solutions to your personal and commercial insurance needs. Sherman and Hem Street Incorporated, real estate and insurance, ready to serve all your insurance needs with helpful, dependable service. Located at 123 8th Street in Augusta. Give Roy Scarborough, Gene Cronick, Mike Shelton, or Bill Blanchard a call at 722-8334.
All right, Georgia Tech will kick off to Virginia. Jim, we've got a thriller brewing, 28-28.
Al Tech has come back in this second half, and they stopped Virginia. Virginia on their 3 possessions fumbled the ball to Tech, threw an interception, and were forced to punt, where Tech took it over at their 46 and then went on a 6-yard drive.
Alan Waters, there's the 2 to the whistle. Will kick off for Georgia Tech. Waters forward, slowly. Toe beats leather, and a high kick. Be taken by Holmes again at the 4-yard line. He's at the 5. Holmes at the 10 for Virginia. He's at the 15. Comes to the center of the field, and down he goes at the 20-yard line. Hit in there on the kickoff team by Scott Travis. The son of Larry Travis is here watching the ball game along with James Reese. So Virginia not getting good field position now here in the 3rd period, Jim.
Well, they start at their 27, their 25, the 4-yard line, and on this possession at their own 20.
26-yard touchdown pass to Emmett Merchant, ties the game up. Virginia up with the eye. Slot to the right as they split both ends. Sean Moore on that mark. Here's Sean rolling right on the keeper. He's at the 20, 24, 25, 26, and down he goes at the 27. 7 yards on a busted play, Kim. Sean Moore goes for 7 yards.
That shows you why he's such a great player, Al. He went the wrong way. His backs went the wrong way. Didn't have any real blocking, just very wisely took it upfield and then weaved through the Tech defense for 7 yards.
Eric Fry calling defensive signals for the Jackets. Non-scholarship youngster out of St. Pius High School. Virginia breaks a huddle. Sean Moore sets his charges in the eye. Tomlin wide to the right. Slot left. Moore checking off. In motion is Moore. Here's Moore throwing on a pass complete to Tomlin and fumbled the football, let's see, but it was after the whistle.
Ali Ruley his knee went down when he caught the ball. So that option pass play hit Tomlin flank wide to the right. He just went down about 8 or 9 yards and did a little hitch pass. And as soon as he caught it, his knee went down. The official blew it dead.
So the ball dead, but Virginia picked up a first down on a pass to Tomlin. 1st and 10, Virginia. Throwing the football. 13 out of 19 for the great All-American Sean Moore. Derek Dooley, flanker left. Herman Moore, tremendous receiver, the jumping jack, wide to the right. Eye set up by Sean Moore, taking a 5 front. In motion, Dooley to the right. Here's Sean Moore, reversing, faking, has the football, is going to throw a long one downfield, and it is caught. Touchdown to Herman Moore. Right over Swilling. Herman Moore just too tall for Swilling. Touchdown for Herman Moore. A 63-yard pass from Sean Moore to Herman Moore.
Allie had him beat. And Moore laid it out there. It looked like Swilling was going to make the adjustment and come up and knock it away. But when he went up for it, Herman Moore just went up higher at 6'5", took it away from Swilling, who went down, and then Moore walked a step in the end zone, turned around, laid the ball on the ground.
Virginia 34, Georgia Tech 28. Free scoring affair. McInerney will try to make it 35. 3:08 snap, touch, kick by McInerney. It's high enough. It is good. Virginia 35. Georgia Tech 28. 3:08 on the clock here in the third period. So it was a combination, Kim. Again, Moore to Moore, and this Moore scored a touchdown, I think, in about 17, 18 consecutive games.
Well, let's see. That was his 12th touchdown reception. He caught one touchdown pass earlier in the half, and that time he just beat Swilling deep, and Moore threw the ball downfield. Again, it looked like Swilling had a chance to go up for the ball and knock it away at least, but Herman Moore just went up higher and wrestled it away from Swilling, who fell to the ground, and Moore walked on into the end zone, and Virginia now has come back on top of Tech 35-28. 3:08 to go in the third period. But other than that big play, Al, Tech's defense has played well. Some scores final. Notre Dame has defeated Navy 52-31. Clemson defeated North Carolina today 20-3. It was Virginia Tech 20, NC State 16. Next week, Virginia Tech travels to Bobby Dodd Stadium to take on Georgia Tech. Duke leads Wake Forest 31-6 in the third period. Final score, FSU 41, South Carolina 10. Also a final, Syracuse 35, Boston College 6. Louisville defeated Cincinnati 41-16. It was Michigan State 45, Indiana 20.
Mike Euster will kick off. Here's a 2 to the whistle. Euster forward. Toe meets leather. A high kick that Kevin Tisdale will take on the 5. He's at the 10. He's at the 15. He's at the 20. Tisdale at the 25, 26-yard line, and down he goes. He was hit by Gerard Washington again on the kickoff team. So the run back by Kevin Tisdale out of Columbus Carver High School for the Jackets. 1st and 10 for the Jackets. On the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard, Virginia 35, Tech 28, a shootout going on here at Scott Stadium. Record crowd. The ball at the Tech 26-yard line. 1st and 10 to go for the Jackets. Scotton and Bell split back behind Sean Jones. And Covington, a tight end on the left side as he moves. In motion, Merchant to the right. Jones back to pass. Setting up. Pressure, pumps once, throwing, screen pass, complete to Bell. Bell at the 25, Bell at the 30, Bell at the 34, and down he goes. Very close. Pick up about 8 yards on the screen to the right. Good block from Joe Sifrikim.
Yeah, they did a nice job of setting that double screen up, faked it to the left, and then threw it back to the right. Bell coming upfield tried to go from his right back inside, and I think Jenkins was coming downfield to try to throw a block. Actually made the tackle, but a nice game for Tech.
All right, Tech at the Tech 34, 2nd and 2 to go. Lone set back is William Bell behind Sean Jones. Virginia in the forefront, in motion. Is Goolsby to the left. Here's the hand off to Bell. Bell to the near sideline, cuts back. He's at the 35, 37, 38. And from here, he got his first down. First down for the Jackets at the Tech 38. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network.
This is your exclusive Georgia Tech Sports Network. WFXA AM 1550, Augusta.
Al Serraldo, Kim King, John Talbert back here at Scott Stadium. Eye set up by Jones. Jones back to pass. Looking, throwing, and it is complete and out of bounds. Goes Goolsby at the 45-yard line of Virginia. Hit by Tony Covington to force him out of bounds at the Virginia 45. First down for Georgia Tech as they move the chains. Tech at the Virginia 45. Virginia 35. Tech 28 on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. 1:53 remaining here in the third period.
Nice route by Goolsby that time. Did a little post corner route. Faked it inside, spun it outside, and Jones drilled the ball right over there. And Goolsby did a nice job of coming down with his feet in bounds.
All right, the Jackets. Merchant wide to the left. Wide to the right is Rodriguez. Lone set back behind quarterback Sean Jones. Virginia in a 5 front. Here's Jones this time pitching out to Bell. Bell 45. Bell inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. A pickup of 2.5 yards. Hit by P.J. Killian, the linebacker for Virginia. So the official marks the football at the Virginia. Well, let's say the 42. So give him 3 yards. Make it 2nd down and 7 to go at the Virginia 42. Tech running to the short side of the field. Lester comes in with a play from Coach Bobby Ross across the way, replacing Rodriguez. Tech has the lone setback, William Bell, behind quarterback Sean Jones. We have twins to the right. Virginia in that familiar 5. In motion, Merchant to the left. Sean Jones faking, bootlegging, starts to run, throwing. It is complete to Covington. And on a fine grab at the 38-yard line of Virginia, hit by McMeans. That was a fine play by Sean Jones, bootlegging to the right. They really put the pressure on him, and he found Covington, his tight end, who was really covered on the play.
Had the corner blitz on, and we're in man coverage. And corner blitz came in, and Jones had to turn it back inside and throw the ball very quickly to Covington, who caught it with a man all over him. So a very heads-up play by Sean Jones and a nice catch by Covington.
Tech at the Virginia 38. 3 wide receivers in for the Jacket. Twins to the left. Wide to the right is Goolsby. High with Sean Jones. Jones this time. Back to pass. Looking. Throwing. The man is there. Complete to Rodriguez. Rather to Lester. Lester at the 25. Lester at the 20. Lester at the 17. First down and for Georgia Tech.
Well, we got a flag. We got a flag, Al. I think Covington, the defensive back for Virginia, is guilty of hitting a Tech receiver after the play was over. Lester made a great catch, threw the ball out in the flat to him on the blitz. Virginia brought the pressure. Lester was open, and Jones rifled the ball into him. Did a nice job of darting around defenders, Al, and got the first down at the 17-yard line. I think Virginia is going to be guilty for a personal foul. And, of course, a lot of times you call these things offsetting, where you have people pushing and shoving and punching at each other after a play's over. Let's see what the official is going to call. It occurred after the play, so the ball was down at the 18. Personal foul against Virginia, so 15-yard penalty on Covington after the play was over.
Tech sending in Covington, Gaucher, and Covington, Rodriguez. So Tech will have the double tight end. The official is set to step the penalty off against Virginia. Personal foul. Piling on Lester after the play. So the ball will be moved to the 7-yard line. First and goal to go for Georgia Tech at the Virginia 7. The Jackets with the ball on a hash mark on the near sideline of the 7. Yusef Jackson checks back in for Virginia, interior linebacker, replacing Tolliver. The Jackets huddle. Jones, Bell, Scott in your Tech backfield. Rodriguez your flanker. The Jackets break the huddle. Rodriguez wide to the right. Double tight end. I formation set up by Sean Jones. In motion, Covington to the left. Jones pitching out this time to Bell. Bell at the 5. Bell fights his way in the end zone. Touchdown. Bell fights his way in the end zone for a touchdown. Kimmy went 2 yards carrying the Virginia man right into the end zone for the TD. 35-34, Kimbrough.
He ran right through him, Al. What a tremendous run by William Bell. He wasn't going to be denied on that tall sweep. The hole was there, and he just took a tackler on, knocked him in the end zone. Tremendous running. Boy, Tech is struck very quickly. This is a shootout, Al.
2 seconds remaining. Scott Sisson, well, he'll try to tie the ball game. Holding will be Aldridge. Parker will snap. Both lines set, poised. Snap, touch, kicked by Scott Sisson. It's high enough. It's good. 35-35 with 2 seconds remaining here in the third period. Kim, I never expected a wild offensive show by both teams.
Well, it's gotten to be that. It's just simply a shootout. Virginia, after Tech closed it 28-21, Tech came back, scored again, made it 28-28. On Virginia's next possession, they didn't waste any time. On third play of their drive, Sean Moore hit Herman Moore for a 63-yard touchdown pass. That made it 35-28, and then after Virginia kicked off to Tech, they ran it out the 26-yard line. Tech just roared downfield, mostly behind the passing of Sean Jones. Bell got the 8-yard touchdown on the tall sweep to the left side. And now you can see the offensive confidence that Georgia Tech has. They are doing the job up front. The tall sweep is working very well. And Jones is having plenty of time to throw the ball.
Okay, Kim, kicking off again will be Alan Waters. Ever-present Alan kicking off from a 35. The youngster from North Clayton High School. Deep for Virginia goes Washington, Brown, and Holmes. And they've been kicking it to Holmes on every play, just about on the kickoffs. 2 seconds remaining on the clock in the third period. Tie ball game, brother and sister. There's the toot of the whistle. Alan Waters slowly forward. Toe meets leather and a high kick into that right corner. Washington's over there this time. Takes it on the 7. Washington at the 10. He's at the 15. He's at the 20, 22, and down he goes. And there's the end of the third period with a score on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Georgia Tech 35, Virginia 35. Brother and sister, you're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network.
Mr. Bob.
So Tech comes roaring right back, ties the game up again. Tech exploded, scored 21 points in the third quarter. Virginia added a touchdown, and it's all tied 35-35 as we go into the fourth quarter. Virginia will start with a ball on their 22-yard line. And our field position has really changed in this second half. Virginia, after having average field position up around the 40-yard line or so, this half has had average field position somewhere around the 20 or so. So it's really been a game of field position, although Virginia on their last drive didn't take them but 3 plays to go 80 yards, 67 yards. Sean Moore to Herman Moore touchdown pass. And once again, Tech's defense has got the work cut out for them as they're going to try to find a way to stop and slow down this high-powered Virginia offense.
Well, Tech has done it with a high-power offense, the so-called great defense. Both teams had great defenses coming in, but this has been an offensive show for both ball clubs, Kim.
Well, Virginia was number 4 in the nation in scoring defense with 11 points given up average per game, and Tech was like 11th, giving up 13 points. So both these teams giving up more points than normal for either one of them, but it's been an entertaining game for, I'm sure, the TV audience and all these fans and spectators and bowl scouts that are here. I'm sure they've got to be drooling over an offensive package that both these teams possess.
You can't put another person in this stadium, Kim. It's about close to 50,000. The record here was 46,800 for the Clemson-Virginia game, but they've surpassed that here this afternoon. Every seat going, and the Scalpers had a big day out here in Charlottesville, Virginia. 49,700. It'll be Virginia first and 10 to start the fourth period at the 22-yard line. Defensively for the Jackets, Marlon Williams, McClary, Battle, Rudolph, Coleman, Rudolph, and Marco Coleman. Interior linebackers Teagle and Williams. Teagle has played a tremendous ball game. 4 deep secondary, Clay, Martin, Ken Swilling, the safety man, and Curly Day, the cornerback. For Virginia offensively, they've got Moore, Sweeney, and Kirby in that I backfield with Derek Dooley, your wide receiver. And, of course, that big Herman Moore, who's been a touchdown maker, who goes high in the air. What a jumping jack. ACC high jumper, Kim.
Yeah, he's been just really tough to contain. Tech hadn't contained him all day. 2 touchdown passes for Herman Moore.
All right, Virginia breaks the huddle. Derek Dooley, flanker out to the left. Herman Moore wide to the right. High set up by Sean Moore as we start the fourth period. Tie game, 35-35. Dooley in motion to the right. Here's Sean Moore giving off to Kirby. Kirby at the 30-yard line, out of bounds on the near sideline at the 31. Very close to a first down. Hit by Ken Swilling, who came up fast from a safety position. Kirby on the delay, coming off the left side. The official marks the football at the 31, and from here he got a first down. No, check that. He started from a 22. So it's second down and a yard to go. Second and a yard for Virginia at the Virginia 31. Kirby, split backs behind quarterback. Now Kirby, now the tail of the eye. Sean Moore sets the charges in the eye. Checking a 5 front. Sean Moore checking off. Here's Moore to his big fullback who has the first down, bucking close to the 34-yard line. Goes Sweeney. First down for Virginia at the Virginia 34. Calvin Teagle on the tackle. Teagle on tackles this afternoon. 9 tackles. He's had an interception. He's had a recovery of a fumble. And he's broken up a pass. What an afternoon for the senior interior linebacker from Fort Washington, Maryland. All right, Virginia with a first down at the Virginia 34. Tech shows Virginia that 5 front. The eye set up. Kirby, the tail of the eye. Terry Kirby. Sean Moore on the bark. In motion, Dooley to the left. Here's Sean Moore rolling right to pass. Pressured. Throwing long, and it is going to be intercepted by Willie. Big play. Clay no hit the ground.
Colored incomplete.
No, he said he got it. Willie Clay intercepted.
Oh, Al, they're arguing. One official says he caught it. One said incomplete.
Oh, wait a minute. You can't do that. So they're going to call. One official says interception for Clay. The other says no. And there's argument is going on. Bobby Ross is really on the field hollering. He wants his boys to get off the field. The offensive team was on the field. Bobby Ross wants them off. Incomplete forward pass, but brother and sister Clay had it. One official says yay, the other said nay.
One Al ruled incomplete. The other official called an interception, and the two talked about it after the play was over, and the one calling the incomplete prevailed.
Second and 10. Sean Moore in the eye at the 34. Moore gives off to Kirby. Kirby up the middle at the 40. Marker on the play at the 41.
Now you got a hold.
You got a good hold call there.
You got a hold, Al. That's going to be a big call going against Virginia here, because Kirby ran the ball out across the 40 to about the 43-yard line, which would leave him about a yard shy of that first down. But Virginia's going to be penalized here for holding. That's going to be a 10-yard penalty. The flag's thrown back just inside the 35-yard line at about the 34. So big penalty here in the ballgame. Tech thought they had the interception the previous play. Willie Clay thought he came up with the interception. One official ruled completion on the interception. The other one ruled incomplete. And official decided he didn't have possession. So Kirby tried the draw play that time and picked up 9 yards, but Virginia's going to be penalized 10 yards all the way back to their own 24-yard line.
So it's second down and 20 to go. Kim, the Jackets had good coverage on Big Herman Moore that time. Clay and Swilling.
Both of them back there in excellent coverage, and both of them had a chance for the interception. Clay almost had it.
Keith Holmes in a nickel package in for the Jackets. Virginia at the Virginia 24, second and 20. Lone setback is Kirby.
Well, they had some movement on Virginia. That's 5 yards. Right side move, right tackle. Number 67 that time moved Paul Collins. He was down his stance and moved a little bit. 5-yard penalty, and Tech very wisely came across the line of scrimmage. So,
Rudolph really came in there, Kim.
Well, I tell you, Coleman Rudolph's a smart football player. He's like his daddy, and he saw that and came charging across the line. So 5 more yards tacked on is going to bring it to the Virginia 19-yard line.
His daddy said he named him Coleman after Tonto Coleman, Kim.
He's a great man, Tonto Coleman.
All right, back at the Virginia 19, second down and 25 to go. Back to pass, Sean Moore. Shovel pass to Kirby. Kirby is tackled, and down he goes at the 25-yard line by Calvin Teagle again. His 10th tackle of the afternoon. Clock ticks, 13 minutes remaining in the fourth period. On the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard, Tech 35, Virginia 35. So Virginia 25. So make it third down and 19 to go. Third and 19, Virginia at the 25-yard line of Georgia Tech, or rather of Virginia. Virginia breaks the huddle. Possession play. Third and 19, passing situation for Moore. Kirby, the lone setback. Sean Moore back to pass. Looking, throwing up the middle. It is complete. And out the 41-yard line And he's going to be shy of the first down at the 41 of Virginia. Willie Clay brings him down. Pass completion to Johnny Wilson. Shy of the first down, Kim.
Well, the second time Virginia's going to be punting the ball today.
Fourth down, 3 to go from the 41 for Virginia. Single safety goes Jason McGill, the speedster freshman out of Miami. Tech has a 10-man rush coming up. Watch Willie Clay on that outside. Garneau punting. Good pass from center. The rush is on. He gets his foot in the football. And McGill will take it on a fly at the 23-25. McGill at the 30. And down he goes at the 20. They started stacking him up at the 29. 36-yard kick for Ed Garneau. So there's a timeout on the playing field with the score on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Georgia Tech 35, Virginia 35, 11:49 on the clock. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network.
Timeout on the field in the fourth quarter with 11:49 to go. Tech, Virginia tied 35 all. Tech has stopped Virginia after Tech scored to tie it up, kicked off. Virginia went on a little drive, but holding penalty pushed them back to their 24-yard line, and then they had a procedure call on top of that pushed it back to the 19 after Kirby got 6 to the 25 on a shovel pass. Tomlin caught a pass over the middle for 16 yards, but he was about 3 yards shy of the first down, and Garneau's kicked it 36 yards, where Tech has taken it at their own 28-yard line, and timeout has been called with 11:49 to go. And Al, things have changed. Tech's offense has been unstoppable, just as Virginia's was in the first half.
Kim, it's a battle of the two Seans, Jones and Moore. They've both been spectacular in a ball game, and whoever is the better man will win here in the fourth period. All right, the Jackets with split backs, pro set with Sean Jones at the 28 of Virginia. Covington, a tight end on the right side. Lone setback, trips to the left. Here's Jones this time, giving off to Scotton. Scotton bucks, goes past the 30 to the 31, 32-yard line. A good buck by Stephen Scotton out of Cleveland, Tennessee. Hit by Ron Carey, the big nose guard. Leon Pyle, let's put it to the 31-yard line. Give him 3, 2nd and 7 to go. Rodriguez goes out. Lester comes in with a play from across the way. Of course, the Jackets calling plays with the messenger system. Merchant, Lester in that backfield. Split backs behind quarterback Sean Jones. Bell and Scotton. Virginia in a 5 front. Bell. Here's Sean Jones back to pass. Throwing it is too high for the intended receiver. Greg Lester into the Virginia bench. Covering was Wallace. Incomplete forward pass. 3rd down, 7 to go. Sean Jones throwing the football. 13 of 24.
And Allie had him open. Lester flanked to the right, did an out pattern in 3 deep zone coverage. Had good cushion by the cornerback. Had him open, but the ball was just thrown high, incomplete.
The Jackets with 2 tight ends. Lone setback will be William Bell. 3rd and 7 for Tech from the Tech 31. Virginia shows Tech a 4 front. Here's Jones this time. Faking, rolling left to pass, throwing, and it is complete to Merchant. Merchant at the 30. Merchant at the 25. We got a marker on the play. He says he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, they're going to bring it back up there.
But he got a first down. Brilliant catch by Merchant. He was good coverage that time on Merchant, and he just reached up there and just took the ball away from the Virginia defender. And it's a first down for Georgia Tech, but he went out of bounds on the 43-yard line of Virginia.
Great catch that time, Al. The pass was really not a very well thrown ball. Merchant had excellent coverage man for man. The Virginia defender was all over him, it looked like, but Merchant just outfought him for the football, and that's going to be a first down for Tech across midfield at the Virginia 42-yard line. The 20th first down in the ball game for Tech.
Tech's going to have to hurry. 14 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, they're going to have to take a timeout here because they're confused on the sideline. The time clock's down. Tech's going to take timeout.
Our men are still having trouble with the phones, Kim. There's a timeout on the playing field. Let's keep it here. Tech 35, Virginia 35, 10:59. Your boy Ralph Friedgen wants those phones to start working.
Well, they're having some problems with the phones up here. The coaches in our booth next to us, they've had problems with the phones early in the first half, and they're a little upset.
That's very important in college football because you've been a quarterback, and you know how they call them. The plays are usually called down to the bench.
Well, it is key, and if you don't have that communications, you can see things a lot better up here, obviously, and these coaches, trained as they are able to detect some weaknesses in the defensive team. And it is important for communications purposes. But Tech had to take the timeout as a time clock was winding down after Merchant caught that third down pass up at the Virginia 42-yard line. 10:59 to go here in the football game. We're tied at 35 all, Tech, Virginia. And it's gotten to be almost nightfall here, Al, as the lights are on at Scott Stadium. Plenty of football left, though.
Another long afternoon, Kim. That's 2 in a row for us. Last week, a long game. Again, here this afternoon.
And Al, Tech has taken 2 timeouts, which could prove to be a factor in this game. They had to take one here because they were confused. The time clock was winding down. They had to do a similar thing earlier in the third quarter when they had 4th down and were trying to get the right substitutes in. They had to take the timeout there. That could be a factor. Virginia has all 3 of theirs left.
All right, the ball at the 42-yard line of Virginia. 35, 10:59 on the clock. It's been a thriller, so hang on some more, brother and sister. We really got one brewing here at Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, Virginia. Overtax record crowd, 49,700. Kim, any final scores?
Well, we gave you that final Notre Dame one today, 52-31. Clemson defeated North Carolina 20-3. Virginia Tech beat NC State 2016. Duke walloped Wake Forest 57-20. FSU 41, South Carolina 10. Nebraska leads Colorado 6-0 in the second period. Syracuse defeated Boston College 35-6. Indiana lost to Michigan State. Michigan State 45, Indiana 20. Tennessee 41, Temple 20. Michigan 38, Purdue 13. Syracuse defeated Boston College 35-6. Penn State defeated West Virginia 31-19. Ohio State leads Northwestern 34-7 in the third period. Final, BYU defeats Air Force 54-7. Second quarter score, Iowa leads Illinois 21-0. Final, Missouri defeated Oklahoma 55-10. Alabama beat Mississippi State 22-0. Halftime score, it's Minnesota 14, Wisconsin nothing.
All right, the Jackets, 1st and 10 at the Virginia 42. Tie ball game. I set up with Bell the tail of the eye. Scottinger up back. Here's a handoff to Bell. Bell cuts inside, has yardage. Bell fights his way down to the inside the 30-yard line. First down for Georgia Tech. William Bell that time on the delay. Hit by Lewis. All the way down. First down to the 29-yard line. A 13-yard romp by William Bell, a freshman, or the sophomore from Miami.
Al, Tech's offensive line is dominating now. They're taking charge, and Jenkins up there, and Lavin, Beryl Miller, Joe Sifry, Mike Mooney are just knocking Virginia off the ball.
All right, Tech at the Virginia 29. Double tight end. The wide receiver, Gilchrist to the right. In motion. Here's the pitch to Bell. Bell fights his way to the 30. Bell inside the 30. Down to the 25-yard line. Inside the 25 goes William Bell. Good block from Tom Covington, the tight end. Hey, big Mike Mooney doing a job in there. Down to the 24, giving 5 yards. 2nd and 5. Tech at the Virginia 24. Tie ball game. The Jackets trying to go on top here for the first time here this afternoon.
Now, again, Tech's blocking on the toss sweep has been superb. Virginia's not able to get off the Tech blocks. And Bell that time, after seeing nothing outside, cut it back inside for 5.
Tech at the Virginia 24. The eye set up. Scott in the up back. The tail of the eye, William Bell. In motion is Goolsby to the right. Here's Sean Jones this time giving off to Bell. Bell gets away from 2 tacklers, but they finally hit him in the backfield. Hall was in there firing through with Killian. So it's a loss for Bell. Back, and let's see, the official marks it at the 28-yard line. So it's a loss of 4 yards. 3rd down. And about 11 to go.
Big convergence. Tech sending in a play late here. Lester comes in from the sideline with a play with Bobby Ross, and that time clock is winding down, Al.
3rd and 9, Tech at the Virginia 28. 10 seconds on the clock. Setback is Scott behind Bell. 6 seconds. Jones back to pass. Draw play. Jones on the run. Jones at the 20. Jones inside the 20 and has the first down. Sean Jones on the quarterback draw. Kim has the first down.
Al, he's played a tremendous game today that time. It didn't look like he was going to be able to get through the seam up there as he pulled the ball down, and the oncoming Virginia lineman looked like they may close on him, but somehow he got through, and with great athletic ability that he has, picked up another first down, the 22nd of the ball game for Georgia Tech.
The ball at the Virginia 15, 13-yard quarterback draw for Sean Jones. The setback is William Bell behind Sean Jones, a lone setback. Gilchrist wide to the right. Jones on the bark. Here's Jones this time, giving off to Bell. Bell fights his way for a yard or so at the most before he was tackled. Coming through was that big Joe Hall again, along with the inside linebacker, Killian. They unstack, and the official marks the football at the 15 for no gain. Second down and 10 to go. Tech at the Virginia 15. Clock ticks. 8:25 remaining in a thriller. Tech 35, Virginia 35. Rodriguez comes in. Scotton comes in. The Jackets in the I formation. 8:13 remaining in the game. Tie game. I set up. Covington in motion. Sean Jones pitching out to Bell. Bell cuts back in, but no gain, Harley. Stopped at the 15-yard line. So Bell twice went to the short side, stopped at the 15. So it's 3rd and 10. Big play from the Tech bench, Kim.
Well, they're going to have to call it from the bench, and Virginia has shut Tech down. One counter play, no gain, and then the tall sweep to the short side on the left side, which has been very effective for Tech today. But Virginia's defense strung it out, gave Bell no room, and the pursuit came over and knocked him down for no gain.
Merchant wide to the left. Lester wide to the right. Double tight end. I set up 3rd and 10 from the Virginia 15. In motion, Merchant to the right. Sean Jones rolling right to pass. Looking, running, throwing into the end zone. Nobody is there. Out of the end zone. Incomplete forward pass. They put the pressure on Sean, so he had to hurry the pass, Kim. Scott Sisson checks in, the field goal unit for Georgia Tech. The line of scrimmage, the 15. Probably be a 32-yard field goal effort on the part of Scott Sisson. Tech 35, Virginia 35 with 7:22 on the clock. Scott Sisson will try to break the tie and put the Jackets on top. The ball on the hash mark on the far side of the field. Holding will be Aldridge. Make it a 33-yard field goal. Parker will snap. Snap, touch, kick by Scott Sisson. It is high enough. It is good. Georgia Tech takes the lead for the first time in a ball game, 38-35 on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Once again, you're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network. All right, Al Sorrell along with Kim King and John Talbert back at Scott Stadium in Charlottesville. Brother Kim, it's a real thriller. This is the first time that Tech has been ahead here in the ball game, 38-35.
Well, Al, the momentum shifted with that fumble on the first play of the second half that Tech's Calvin Teagle recovered. And then after Tech got that quick touchdown to cut it to 28-21 and then came back and made it 28-28. Virginia went on top 35-28 with a 63-yard pass bomb from Sean Moore to Herman Moore. Tech answered right back, tied it up at 35-35, and then Tech went on 11-play drive, started their 28-yard line, finally stalled down at the 15-yard line where Scott Sisson came on to kick true on a 33-yard field goal with 7:17 to go in the ball game. Tech on top of Virginia, 38-35.
Kicking off for Georgia Tech. Alan Waters once again. They give Scott Sisson a 32-yard field goal instead of a 33. Alan Waters will kick off again. Deep. Holmes to the right. Brown in the middle. Washington to the left. 7:17 remaining. C.C. Daly. Toots a whistle. Alan Waters slowly forward. Toe meets leather and a line drive that will be taken by Holmes at the 5. He's back at the 10. Holmes at the 15. He's at the 20, 25, and down he goes. Knocked down by Derek Gaucher on the kickoff team. So the run back by Holmes to the Virginia 28-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Cavaliers. Make it the 27-yard line. 1st and 10, Virginia, with the ball on the hash mark at the Virginia 27. The I set up with Kirby the tail of the I. Sweeney's your up back. 2nd up 4 front. Sean Moore checking off. Long count by Moore. He's down to 5 seconds on the clock. Here's Moore this time, giving off to Kirby. Kirby fights his way for yardage. Stacked up in there by big Kevin Battle, who refused to let him go by, along with Marlon Williams. Battle would not let loose of Kirby. The ball from the 27 to the 33. 2nd down and 4 to go. Virginia at the Virginia 33. Kevin Battle didn't want to let him go, Kim.
Well, Al, Sean Moore checked off that time and ran the draw. He thought he saw something that would give him an opportunity to go to the draw play, and Kirby did a nice job of finding a seam and going up field for 6 yards to the 33.
Virginia at the 33. 2nd and 4. Clock ticks. 6:30 remaining. Tech 38. Virginia 35. High with Sean Moore. Moore on a bark. Moore this time gives off to Kirby. Kirby has the first down. Fights his way past the 40 to about the 42-yard line. Goes Kirby, first down for Virginia. Hit in there by Jarrell Williams, interior linebacker. An offensive show continues. Tech 38, Virginia 35. Clock shows 6:18. The ball at the 42-yard line. Virginia at the Virginia 42. 1st and 10 to go. Clock ticks. 6:05 remaining in the ball game. Derek Dooley breaks the huddle. Flanker out to the left. Up over that football is Riles, Sweeney, and Kirby in that high backfield. Sean Moore on the count. Tech in at 5 front. Here's Moore back to pass. Looking, setting up, throwing up the middle. It is complete to the 45 to Moore. Moore at the 35. Moore at the 30, 25, and he is going to be knocked out of bounds by Thomas Balkum. Moore got away from 4 tacklers, Tim. Fought his way all the way down to the Georgia Tech 10-yard line. 1st and 10 to go, Virginia.
Now we got a flag thrown down there after the play. If it goes against Tech, it probably doesn't hurt them that much because the ball was run down close to that goal line. The official threw it late, I think. If it goes against Virginia, it's going to be a big penalty because it'll push them 15 yards further back, and they'll have first down in a long distance. Let's see what they're going to call now. Both Tech and Virginia were pushing on each other after the play was over, and the flag was thrown way after the play, after Moore. Let's see, a personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct against Tech. So that's going to be a 15-yard penalty against Tech, half the distance to the goal. And let's see what the official now, they go back and they talk further about the play. Flag was thrown way after Moore went out of bounds, and both teams sort of caught up with the play, and officials still conferring the preliminary indication is going to be unsportsmanlike conduct against Georgia Tech. And here's a calling again, unsportsmanlike conduct, Tech. They're going to take it half the distance to go, put the ball 1st and goal down at the 5-yard line.
So the penalty against Tech moves the ball to the Georgia Tech 5. 1st and goal to go. That Moore to Moore, unstoppable, Kim. When he gets in trouble, he goes to Herman Moore. So Virginia at the Tech 5. A ball and a hash mark on the near sideline. Tech 38, Virginia 35. 5:42 remaining in the ball game, and it's been a thriller, brother and sister. The eye set up with Kirby, the tail of the eye. Sweeney is your up back. Sean Moore on the bark. Tech with a 6 front. Here's Moore this time rolling. Gets away from one tackler, and is stopped at the 2-yard line. He got away that time from Marco Coleman, who had his arms wrapped around, but he's tough to bring down. He's a strong runner, Kim.
Boy, he showed some great strength, Al, as he pulled away from Coleman, turned it up inside, and really took a big hit by Tiggle, but just jumped up off the turf and showing a great athletic ability and a lot of toughness. Took a big shot then, but didn't phase him.
2nd and goal, maybe about 2.5 yards away. Make it 2 yards away. 2 yards away. 2nd and goal, Virginia at the Tech 2. 5:05 on the clock. Wishbone set up by Sean Moore. Moore on the bark. Checking at 6 front. Here's the handoff this time to the tailback Fisher. Fisher stopped at the 1-yard line. 3rd down and goal to go. The handoff to the tailback out of that wishbone to Nicky Fisher. Fisher down, hit by McClary on the bottom of the pile for Georgia Tech. So they're about inches away from the goal line. 3rd down and inches to go.
Al,
Virginia.
I'm going to call a play for you, Al. Quarterback sneak.
Sean Moore right over the top.
Sean Moore has done it twice today. He goes right up over the top, being tall and very powerful, and I look for him to take it, try to go over the top with the sneak.
All right, Tech set McClary, Battle, Gallagher, and Rudolph lining up, digging in on that AstroTurf. Wishbone at the inches from the goal line on a 3rd down play. Moore on the bark. Moore giving off to his halfback, and he dives. Let's see. He did not make it. He did not make it. Fisher was stopped, went high in the air. Jarrell Williams, Kim, got him in the air and knocked him down. Still 4th down and inches to go. Check it. They're going to move that football back, I'd say inches to go, about a foot away.
They didn't even hesitate, Al. They didn't look to the sideline. They're going to go for it here.
Second down. I don't know how they got a second down. Oh, there was a penalty. All right, second down, inches to go. Wishbone set up.
Al, it had movement.
Had movement in the line. That'll cost them 5 yards.
Virginia's left side moved then, Al.
Kim, I think they're wrong on the downs here. I'm pretty sure they are.
Well, the down marker across the way says second down, but
they could be wrong. They ran 2 plays, Kim.
I think you're right. Moore ran for 3 down to the 2 after they started at first and goal from the 5. Fisher got 1 to the 1. Fisher was stopped, and it appeared to me that was a 4th down play.
The ball moved back to the 6-yard line. So movement on the play. So they still got second down, Kim. Second down from the goal, 2nd and 6. Virginia at the Georgia Tech 6. The Jackets, lone set back behind Sean Moore. Moore in motion. Rolling right to pass, throwing. It is complete to about the 1-yard line to Herman Moore, the man in motion. Completion to the 1-yard line. 3rd down and goal to go for Virginia at the Georgia Tech 1.
Caltech had the pressure on Sean Moore that time, but he made a great play to get the ball off to Herman Moore, and as Moore caught it, he was hit down, and the ball just inches again away from that goal line.
All right, the ball inches away. 3rd and inches away to go. Virginia breaks the huddle. Virginia inches away on a 3rd down goal play. Wishbone with Sean Moore. Here's Moore this time. Throwing in the end zone. A man is there. Touchdown. And a marker on the play.
Yeah,
we got a marker on the play, Tim.
We got some movement, Al, against Virginia. It's going to nullify this. Check the call now. I think it's going to go against Virginia. I think it's going to be a 5-yard penalty against Virginia. Let's check it. It's going to be against Virginia. Nullify the touchdown. 5-yard penalty. Will put the ball to 6.
So make it 3rd down and goal to go from the 6-yard line. Pass was in the end zone. The man was wide open, who was Mundy, the tight end. So Virginia backed up to the Georgia Tech 6-yard line. 3rd down and goal to go. 2:44 on the clock. Virginia sends into the ball game. Let's see whether Virginia. It's 3rd and 6 to go. Defensively, McClary, Battle, Gallagher, Rudolph, Williams, Coleman, Teagle, Williams, Clay, Swilling, Balcom, and the Tech backfield. The ball at the 6, 3rd and goal. Curly Day is in there in that backfield. Virginia breaks the huddle. Lone set back is Kirby behind Sean Moore. Trips to the left this time. Trips to the left. Back to pass. Sean Moore pressured. Looking, throwing. It is knocked down on a nice play by Calvin Teagle. Kim, do they go for the tie here or do they go for the win?
Well, they're going to go for the field goal. They're going to go for the tie with 2:38 to go and hope they can stop Tech, and with that big play offense, hope they get another shot at it.
This would keep Virginia still in first place because the Jackets have a tie with North Carolina.
Conference-wise, that's correct. National ranking-wise, Al, it wouldn't be, but Virginia's going to go for the field goal here. 2:38 to go in the ball game. Tech leads 38-35.
Jake McInerney will try a 22-yard field goal. Snap, touch, kicked by McInerney. It is high enough. It is good. Brother and sister, we got a tie game. Georgia Tech 38, Virginia 38, 2:34 to go. Let's see where the Jackets can come downfield, Kim.
Well, that was a 9-play drive. Sisson kicked a 32-yard field goal that put Tech ahead 38-35, and that came with 7:17 to go in the ball game. After Tech kicked off to Virginia, ran it out to the 27. Virginia came downfield. They hit a huge pass, 48-yarder to Herman Moore down to the Tech 10-yard line. Tech was guilty of a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after the play. It penalized at half the distance to the goal down to the 5. Moore got 3 to the 2. Fisher got 1 to the 1. Fisher was stopped for no gain, and then Virginia was penalized 5 yards back to the Tech 6. Then Moore got hit Herman Moore for a 5-yard pass to the Virginia 1. Virginia penalized on a touchdown after it looked like they would go ahead with a TD, but movement, they were penalized 5 yards back to the 6. Moore was scrambling around, had a lot of pressure on him, threw in the end zone. Tech's Calvin Teagle knocked the pass away, incomplete. McInerney came in and kicked a 22-yard field goal. So we got a tie ball game, 38-38, 2:34 to go.
Nose deep for Georgia Tech, him at the 5-yard line.
Here we got, Al.
Kevin Tisdale, who's explosive. Now let's see if the youngster's got one more in that trick bag of his, Kim. Because a good run back will put Tech in position. C.C. Daly toots the whistle. Husted forward. Slowly. Oh, meets leather, and a high kick that will be taken on a fly by Tisdale in the end zone by 2 yards. He's out to the 5. Tisdale at the 10. He goes to the far side of the field at 15. He's at the 20. He's at the 25-yard line. Good run back by Tisdale out of the end zone to the 25, hit by Ricky Peete, whose daddy is the pro golfer, Calvin Peete. All right, the Jackets take over. 1st and 10 to go. 2:28 on the clock. Tech has only one timeout remaining.
Well, they still got a big pile of players that they're trying to get uncovered. Tisdale comes out jogging to the sideline. I think they're going to be shy of that 25, probably the 24-yard line.
All right, the Jackets break the huddle. Up over that football is Big Miller. Tech has split-backs behind Sean Jones at the Tech 24. Jones on the bark. Virginia in the 4 front, the 4-3. Long count by Sean Jones. Here's Jones back to pass. Has protection, looking, throwing, and it is complete to Bell. Bell is at the 49-yard line. Killian knocked him down. Brilliant catch by Bell. He went high in the air, Kim. First down for the Jackets at the Tech 47-yard line.
Well, it was a good read, too. And what he did is he held the ball, saw Bell going over the middle and getting in that seam between the linebackers in zone coverage. They're dropping the deep coverage people. He got in there, and Jones did a nice job of laying it in for a good catch.
All right, the Jackets at the 47. 1st and 10 to go. 2:10 on the clock. 38-38 tie ball game. Sean Jones giving off to Bell. Bell up to the 30. Bell at the 40-yard line. Wake at the 41-yard.
Hold on, Al.
Fumble on the play.
Hold on, Al. Let's check it now. Fumble. Did the ground call it, or did the ball pop loose? Let's see. Tech says they have it back. That's Tech's got possession. Tech's got the ball. Tech's got the ball, Al.
Tech recovered. Bell was hit. And whether he was down or what, they unpile. But recovering the fumble for Georgia Tech, the ball at the 41-yard line. First down for Georgia Tech at the Virginia 41. 1:55 on the clock. Lester checks out. Gilchrist checks in. Wheeler continues to brew, Kimbrough.
Yeah, they're going to want to keep the ball on the ground here to eat the clock, because you've got the most potent offensive weapon or team in the country on the sidelines, Virginia. You don't want to give them the ball back with too much time. Tech would like to eat the clock here and get the field goal.
Split backs behind Sean Jones. Jones on the bark. Here's Jones this time rolling left on the bootleg, looking to run. Jones at the tackles at the 50-yard line. A loss. Rather the 45-yard line, a loss of Megan. He got back to the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 2nd down, and let's call it 10 to go. The official marks it at the 41-yard line of Virginia. 2nd and 10. Clock shows 1:12, 1:11. Clock ticking away the ball game. Tech 38, Virginia 38. 3 wide receivers in for the Jackets. Split backs behind Sean Jones. 4 front for Virginia. Jones back to pass, looking, throwing. It is complete to Rodriguez around the 35-yard line. Make it the 34, a pickup of 7 yards. 3rd down and 3 to go. 49 seconds on the clock. The ball at the 35-yard line. 3rd and 4 for the Georgia Tech at the 35. 42 seconds. Tech has 1 timeout remaining. Clock ticking away. The Jackets are going to have to hurry. They only have 17 seconds. The play, Gilchrist brings the play in. 30 seconds on the clock. Tech 38, Virginia 38. Wide to the left goes Gilchrist. 7 seconds on the time clock. Wide to the left goes Lester. On the bark, Sean Jones. Jones this time back to pass. Looking, throwing. It is complete to Lester. Lester is down to the 20-yard line, inside the 20. Georgia Tech calls for a timeout with 12 seconds on the clock, Kim.
Al, great throw by Sean Jones. Talk about pressure. Clock winding down here. 12 seconds left. They've got him in Sisson's range right now. Ball's on the 20-yard line, and they're going to try the field goal here. And the reason they're doing this, Al, if they have a muffed handle on the kick, they'll have another shot with a time. If they take it down any tighter, if something happens to muff the snap or whatever, they won't have time to run another play. It all comes down to this, Al.
37-yard field goal effort on the part of Scott Sisson. 12 seconds on the clock. Time is still out in the playing field. Tech 38, Virginia 38. Brother Scott Sisson has a lot of pressure on that kid from Marietta, Kim.
Al, this is it. The ball game comes down to this, and a brilliant drive by Tech. Started back at their 24. Bell caught a 23-yard pass down the middle as he came in between the linebackers and the deep coverage people in that zone defense. Jones laid it right in there. He caught it up to the Tech 47. He got 12 more on a run to the Virginia 41 across midfield. Jones tried a bootleg left, stopped for no gain at the 41. Rodriguez caught a 6-yard pass at the 35, and Lester just came up with a big play, 15-yard reception down to the 20, which gives Tech first down. And Tech, with 12 seconds to go, Tech does not have any more timeouts left, and they're going to try the field goal here with Sisson.
37-yard, and now Virginia wants a timeout to give Scott Sisson time to think it over. 38-38, 12 seconds on the clock. Kim, this thriller's been brewing here in the third period on.
Al, do you realize, to put it in financial terms, and I hate to put college athletics on this basis, but since the advent of TV, Al, you got to say it. This kick is a difference in $2 million to one of these teams. If Tech should win today and then should beat Wake Forest for the conference championship and go to the Citrus Bowl and move up in rankings, they would probably get a couple of $1 million more out of this bowl game situation if they win here. And of course they've still got some games left, but not to discount Georgia, Wake Forest, or Virginia Tech. But this is a huge kick for the game, for the conference championship, for a national ranking opportunity for Tech, and for big bowl revenue.
All right, Scott Sisson. His daddy's a pilot. I know he's worried about the situation. Score on the Atlanta Journal. Constitution scoreboard. Tech 38, Virginia 38, 12 seconds on the clock. Scott Sisson, he's only a sophomore. Kid, a 6'2", 185-pounder out of Marietta with that educated toe. Let's see what he can do. It's a 37-yard field goal effort on the part of Sisson. Aldridge will hold. Parker will snap the football. Both lines set. Crowd roaring. Snap, touch, kick by Scott Sisson. It is high enough. It is good. It is good with 7 seconds on the clock. Scott Sisson breaks the tie with a 41-38 lead for Georgia Tech. Kimbo?
Well, I got a little carried away. I apologize, but 37-yard field goal, 7 seconds left on the clock. And Tech did it this way, Al. After the score got tied, 38-38, they went on a 6-play drive. They started it with 2:28 to go. They only had 1 timeout left. They had used 2 earlier when they had to waste them, when they had some substitution problems. So with only 1 timeout, they drove all the way down to the 20-yard line. Lester, the great reception from Jones to give them the first down. They called the timeout. Sisson kicked through on the 37-yard field goal.
Kim, you remember 1988 when Virginia came downfield and they kicked the field goal in the last few seconds to beat Tech 17-16.
Well, that's right. Anything can happen. And I tell you, this game isn't over, and I won't breathe easier, or easily, I should say, until the time is off this clock, because Virginia has such huge big play players. 7 seconds to go, and they trail Tech 41-38. Boy, I tell you, this has been a great football game.
I think Alan Waters will probably, maybe Kim, one of them bounding kicks. But you want to get some distance on it. You don't want to let Sean Moore, he has 2 timeouts remaining with 7 seconds. And usually it doesn't start until after the kickoff, after the ball touches one of the returnees. 3 deep for Virginia. Washington, Brown, and Holmes. Alan Waters will kick off for Georgia Tech from the 35-yard line. C.C. Daly will toot the whistle. Brother and sister, this has been one of the great thrillers in college football. There's the toot of the whistle. Alan Waters slowly forward. Toe meets a bounding kick that'll be taken at the 20-yard line and down at the 21-yard line.
Now they only ran 1 second off the clock.
But Virginia has 2 timeouts.
If I'd be Bobby Ross, if I were Bobby Ross, I think I'd be talking to that timekeeper. The ball hit a Virginia man, rolled around, and they only took 1 second off the clock.
All right, the ball at the 20, let's call it the 26-yard line. 1st and 10 for Virginia at the Virginia 26. They have 2 timeouts remaining, 6 seconds on the clock. Ken Swilling is what you call a prevent safety way back at the 30-yard line. He expects them to throw that bomb to Moore. Let's hope the Jackets going to rush on. Back to pass, Sean Moore. Rolling, looking, pressured out of the pocket, starts to run. Throwing long up the middle. And it is going to be intercepted by Eric Fry. And there's the end of the ball game. Final score. Georgia Tech upsets Virginia. Tech 41, Virginia 38. For Georgia Tech, 7 wins, no setback and a tie. Virginia number 1, 7 wins, 1 setback. Kim, the Tech coaches are going wild in the booth next year.
Al, it's just a tremendous comeback victory. They were down 28-14 at the half. The nation's #1 team led them, and they came back this second half like a team possessed, played good defense, and did it when they had to do it offensively. Sean Jones, magnificent football game for that sophomore.
And a thriller on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Tech 41, Virginia 38. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Football Network.
We hope that you have enjoyed today's gridiron action between the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets and the Cavaliers of Virginia. Today's game was brought to you in part by Sherman Hemstreet, by Pennell Heating and Air Conditioning, by McKnight Construction, also Mena Building Supply, by Georgia Power, and by Smile Gas. Join us again next week when the Yellow Jackets showdown with Virginia Tech. Pre-game showtime, 12:20, kickoff at 1 p.m. Exclusively on your Georgia Tech Sports Network, 1550 WFXA AM, Augusta.